Total Smith here. Make sure y'all subscribe to my boy Downtown Deuce ASAP. Come on, man.
Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. Destination restoration. It's our time. Can you feel the elevation? We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination. Together all the time together. It's us against the world, it don't get no better. We turned it around, that was the beginning. Coming for the crown, you know we winning. Time to put in the work, I'm about to go for steady. Taking our prisoners, it's my time. Yeah, I know that it hurts. Tearing back on the church, you don't wanna see me in my prime. The mission is to ring, we're caught in everything. In the city, supporting the dream. Vision new I never seen, we deserve to be king. It's all or nothing, no in between. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Now the clock is ticking and I hope you're listening. Don't touch me cause I'm sizzling. Physicality is tipping and mentality is menacing. The dog pound body's crippling. Yeah, to the elevation. We on a mission on vacation. Time to create the separation. Championships and motivation. 313 need no explanation. Miss me with all that conversation. We ready for the confrontation. Counting down to our destination. The final destination.
What up, though, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Downtown Deuce Show with the boss. Hope you guys are having a decent Sunday evening. Hope you guys are having a decent weekend. Tonight, guys, look, check it out. We got clutch points writer and beat reporter for the Detroit Pistons, Eric Vincent, aka Vinny, pulling back up to the show. Eric, how you feeling, bro? Appreciate you pulling up, man. You on mute, my dog?
Man. Sorry, rookie mistake. I feel like the Pistons right now. I normally feel better, man. I'm normally dancing and bobbing my head to Deuce's song. I'm not feeling good right now, y'all. So hopefully we can get some straightening out, but I appreciate y'all being here, man. Let's do this. For sure, man. Eric, guys, is going to help us try to make sense and figure out what we are witnessing with our Pistons right now. But boss, how you feeling over there? What's the word with you?
Man, I'm bummed. I had a great day. I got to the mountains today, had a nice hike, fresh air.
Okay.
Got time back for the game, felt good. But also, I'll be honest, I talked to you about this last night. I didn't see us winning this game. I thought the Heat was probably one of the worst teams we could have matched up after a loss like last night, plus daylight savings, plus away game.
That killed me.
All this stuff.
I totally forgot.
It was like the Heat have been rolling. They feel good. They're always a matchup for us. So yeah, I just I wasn't expecting us to win this. I was kind of hoping they'd surprise us. So I just kind of I don't know. But
you are down tonight, boss. Sheesh. Usually like she's trying to pull me up after losses, but
I keep it real. It's always I mean I have my optimistic outlooks, but we're just still in the slump. That's all I can say. We're still in it. I think that it's okay and valid to be concerned about what you're seeing right now, especially trying to close out the season. But I think that I still think that we're gonna bounce back and I think maintain the number one spot. But that's where I'm at.
Yeah. A few somethings, a lot of somethings. I agree. Guys, we see you in the chat, man. We see you guys' comments. We're gonna do the best we can to get to you guys. As you guys know, if we miss you, repost, caps lock, super chat, whatever y'all want to do to get our attention, and we will try to do our best to get to as many of you guys as possible. We got some super chats here we're going to get to first, and then we'll get to some opening thoughts and things like that. We got Doug. Doug comes in and says, Mama said this is why we can't have nice things. Pistons are 8-6 since trading Jaden Ivey. Pistons have one job to beat the Nets on Tuesday. Just saying. Yeah, you're right, bro. I mean, as far as the JI part, y'all know how I feel. Y'all know how I feel for sure. I feel like he really could be helpful in these situations. I'm not gonna question Trajan, but at the same time, his presence is definitely missed for sure. And then, like you said, just move on to the next. Got to wash it away, and you can't let this linger. Got to bounce back, like Boss said. And then Duck comes back and says, "Guys, Eric, please help us. Please help. Please help."
I'm a better shooter than some of these people. I ain't gonna say no names, but hey, tell Trajan to call me. I'll do what I can, y'all. I got your back.
Hey, I'll see him shoot too. He actually his jumper is low key wet. I can't even refer.
I'm like that. I'm like that.
You know what I'm saying? We don't always get the swing when we should, but we can still shoot. We can still shoot.
Sit there waiting for it.
You know what I'm saying? For sure. So listen, man, for anybody who did not see this game, guys, after their disappointing loss last night to the Brooklyn Nets, the Pistons follow that up with another uninspiring performance in this game. And the losing streak continues. And they dropped their season high, the season high fourth straight game tonight, losing to the Heat in blowout fashion. It was a lot closer at the end than it actually was, but the scoreboard was 121 to 110. And they now dropped to 45-18 on the regular season. As far as the injury report, Cade Cunningham did return. He missed last game with the left quad contusion. He was back. Karis LeVert was out tonight, guys, with a left wrist sprain. That must have happened. I didn't even see it, but it must have happened last game at some point. Did you guys see that?
We can finally get some reasonable. You can't blame Karis for this loss. So
right. Yeah, it's not on Karis.
Yeah, he was out. Yeah, nothing he could do. And also, guys, Asar Thompson also was out. He's still out with his right ankle sprain, and there's still no timetable, I don't believe, for his return. Eric, anything on that you've heard of? Not yet?
Nah, JB was very bleak about it. He said it's going to be a minute. And the Pistons, they're very hush-hush about timetables and returns. So we'll keep prying, but yeah, he hasn't given us much yet.
I got you. So, guys, in Cade's return, the Pistons went with the starting group of Cade Cunningham, Marcus Sasser remaining at the 2. Duncan Robinson remaining at the 3, Tobias Harris at the 4, and JD at the 5. So, guys, the poll is officially live for why you guys thought we actually lost this game. So you guys go ahead and have at that, and we will check back on that after we get through some initial thoughts. But as far as initial thoughts, Eric, you are the guest here tonight, bro. So I'm going to let you go ahead and tee off with what you saw in this game. What stood out to you, man?
I just think a lot of their issues are just on high display right now. I feel like we're seeing this team getting a lot of their identity kind of getting stripped away at this moment. They're a team that thrived on defense, scoring in transition, living in the paint, crashing the glass. That's not happening over these past couple games, especially today. Yeah. I think the Heat had 22 fast break points, got beat on the glass, a lot of open shooters, a lot of just missed assignments on defense, and you're seeing how stagnant this offense can look when Cade is the only guy that's really doing something. I would say the only guy because JD is, he was very active as well in terms of scoring, but I don't think anybody else was in double-digit scoring outside of those two players. And
Paul Reed.
I think Stu was.
Paul got it,
but okay. It was a lot of that stuff was late though. But still,
okay, yeah, because basically deep into the fourth, it was just those two. So
yeah,
unfortunately, if you play hoops before, if your shot is off, you can sometimes let that cold streak linger into the rest of your game, and it kind of seems like that's what's happening with them right now. They're just losing rhythm offensively, and it's translating into their bad defense as well. We're seeing, I'm so tired of bigs learning to be good shooters against the Detroit Pistons. Now Bam Adebayo want to be a great shooter all of a sudden, living in the corner, knocking down shots. I'm tired of it, bro. Ever since he hit that game winner 2 years ago, now all of a sudden he is a sniper. Defense just out of position. And unfortunately, I don't think people talk about if they just had a SAR or they just had this. I don't think this is an Asar away fix from them getting better. I think a lot of their flaws are in kind of bad position right now. And we'll get into this a little bit later. Lingering into the future and to close out this season is not going to be an easy sledding. I'm looking at the schedule right now. They don't have a lot of rest in between these games in March, and they have some tough, stiff competition from hungry teams that are trying to rise in their conference. So this is not good right now. You all have every reason to be alarmed right now because you want to have losses like these early in the season. You don't want to be doing this in March right now. And again, I don't think it's because of injuries or bad coaching. I think they just look ill-equipped versus the opponents that they're playing against right now. And I don't know what it's going to take at this current moment to fix that because they just look lost based on how they're playing.
Yeah. Yeah, I do have some thoughts on that too, bro, for sure. So I'm gonna let you take off first, boss. What'd you see?
Yeah, just I think especially looking at the quarter breakdowns, just our slow start once again was our demise. Like everything else was pretty equal, pretty close. They beat us by 1 point in the second quarter, 2 points or 3 points in the third. We beat them in the fourth by 12. Like, so it was just a really bad slow start. And as soon as we weren't hitting our shots right away and we weren't getting stops, I was like, we didn't snap out of it.
Yeah,
that's enough. But I do agree with what Eric said. I don't think like I can blame some things on, again, Asar being out, the time change, the short schedule for this loss. But we've been struggling for like 2 weeks now. Even the wins that we were able to pull out against like the Cavs and against OKC, like we still didn't look good. Those were almost kind of lucky. It felt a little bit more lucky, and then we've been a little bit worse. I just do think that the streaks, like it is something that like it's just kind of catching up with us. The beginning of the season, it was just kind of in awe about how great our bench is, how connected everybody is, and you can throw anybody in there and it looks in sync. And now it doesn't, like you throw some lineups out there and they don't look in sync. They're clogging up spaces. The ball's not moving. They're getting turnovers. Like it's like something with the chemistry just got broken up, and they just got to get back to that and finding their rhythm again there. But yeah, tonight's loss, like the slow start definitely contributed, but it still wouldn't have been like a good game in my mind if we came out of the first quarter a little bit closer and still played the way we did. I wouldn't be happy with how we were playing. So that's just kind of how I feel about that. And like Eric said too, everyone has reasons to be concerned and everything. For now, like I'm still on I didn't really have hope in winning this one just based off of how we were doing and knowing what we were coming off of. But like I will truly be concerned if we fall on Tuesday. If we lose on Tuesday, I'm like, this is what is going on.
You can't lose two straight you can't lose 2 straight games to the Nets.
No, and not trying to come out of a win streak or trying to come out of a loss streak too. Like they better have the game of their freaking lives on Tuesday, is what I'm saying.
No, I mean, yeah, they definitely got to pick it up. I think they got to do some soul searching. They got to do some soul searching, man. This game was over at halftime. And not even really just because they were down 20 or whatever it was. They just didn't really look like they believed they could get back into this game for some reason. You saw them in like third quarter, the way it started, you didn't see them with that sense of urgency. Like, let's try to get back into this game, make them call the first time out and try to make it a game. So that was alarming. Like, it's gut check time. Like, they're going through it right now. They got some serious things to figure out. But you guys kind of hit on it already. They don't have the same connectivity on both sides that they've had for most of the season. When they're playing well, like Eric said, they're hitting first. They're playing good defense, turning that into offense. And I thought the effort was there early to start the game. They just couldn't get any help from their offense. We saw this team trade misses early in this game. We just couldn't score the basketball. And eventually the Heat knocked down some shots, and they were able to convert some of those misses that we had into scores. So a lot of the things the Pistons do well in this game, they really didn't do any of them well tonight. They did have 56 paint points, but they allowed the Heat to get more. They had 58. They had 6 fast break points, guys. 6. The Heat had 22 and they had 6. You're not gonna win that way. I don't care how many ISOs you go into Tobias Harris, how many points you score in the post. It doesn't matter. Like if you're not playing your style and that's not their style, you're not gonna win. And then the boards, they got out rebounded by 8. 48-40. So all the things they do well, all their strengths, their size, their physicality, all those things, their defense, they just didn't do any of those things well in this game. So for me, though, like that was extremely concerning, and they got to clean that up for sure. For sure.
I have, because I've tried asking JB about this a lot, because someone asked me in my stream earlier during the game if this boils down to coaching. I feel like it's a lot of blame to go around, and I think coaching can be somewhat of a reason, because like I've asked JB a lot about rotations and continuity, heading into these kind of stretches. These are the kind of stretches and periods of the season where you want to know where your best strengths at and your best like rotation pieces are going to lie heading into the postseason. And a lot of lineups we see with JB is just kind of sporadic. It just seems like, okay, you go in and try now. All right, now Paul, you go in and try now. Okay, you go in. It doesn't seem like it's a whole lot of cohesiveness in terms of like the best fits that work with the guys that are on the floor. I feel like he just kind of throws out a lot of stuff. Like again, I know some people have like that kind of hyped up the possibility of starting Sasser. I didn't like the idea of starting him today. Like I just didn't think it worked out. But then again, at the same time, I also don't think they really had much choice based on the other options behind them. Because if Karras would have started, people would have went crazy.
But I think like it would have been. We talked about this yesterday. Like if Duncan was injured, Sass makes sense. But when Asar is injured, it could be like a Ron or a Wu.
Right. That's my point. Like I feel like to fill the need that they were missing, I don't think Sasser is the best choice to fill in what you're asking for. So yeah, I agree with you on that, Sarah. I feel like JB is not making the most sound choices and filling in the needs that are right in front of him. And I feel like when the players that are struggling the most, like if Karras missing a lot, he'll still put him in and let him roll for 20 minutes. Or if, JD has, even like when he had the foul trouble against San Antonio, and you keep him in the game. If he's got 3 fouls and they're going at him, take him out and try something else. I feel like he's not really adjusting well to the issues that are in front of this team. And I think we're starting to see some of those issues unravel. And again, I don't think it can come at a worse time than being in the beginning or the middle of March right now.
Yeah. So I agree with most of what you guys said. I do have a little bit of a different take on Asar though. And I've been hard on Asar all year. I don't think that the Pistons are a healthy Asar away from winning a championship or maybe even going to the finals the way they're constructed, right? However, though, I do think all that said, I think Asar Tasmanian Thompson, as I call him, is missed. I think he is missed because as I call him the backbone of the defense, I think he's definitely missed. And honestly, guys, like from my point of view, he might be missed as much as Cade is missed when Cade's not playing because of the defensive things that he does. All the little things that he does on both sides of the ball that get taken for granted, I think they're very glaring when he's not playing. He's one of the best defenders in the league. We know that. His ball defense is top shelf. But with him not playing, the Heat were just routinely able to get 2 feet in the paint, get to the rim with ease. But that's not even just that, though. Like his rebounding is also missed, especially his defensive rebounding is really missed. The Pistons could not keep the Heat off the offensive glass at all. All the 50-50 balls the Pistons are usually getting, they went to the Heat. And we saw a ton of long misses from the Heat. The Pistons just could not come up with the basketball. And the Heat will get a score off the offensive rebound. Oftentimes it will be a 3-ball, and that's demoralizing. So the defense for sure, and then offensively too. Offensively, I thought he was missed as well. He's been good as a secondary ball handler for most of the season. Like E said, Marcus Sasser, he started in Asar's absence because it seems like coach just wanted to have another ball handler on the court with Cade. But the only problem with that is that you sacrifice a lot of your size and your defense when you replace Asar with a Sass. So even though we know Asar is nowhere near a finished product offensively, and the shooting woes continue, that has to improve. I just feel like the intangibles that he brings on both sides is something the Pistons are really going to miss while he's out. And I think the sooner they can get him back, the better this team is going to be. Well, that's just my thoughts.
What we noticed yesterday too, especially with some lack of playmaking besides Cade or Jenkins. Like Jenkins was more the playmaker when Cade was out. Asar was getting 5 or 6 assists a game too. He was more of a playmaker for us than I think we realized. So
yeah. So that's my thing. Like it was just so annoying watching them continuously get offensive rebounds and there'd be no resistance on the perimeter or in the paint. Like, cause we're used to him being able to keep guys, he being an island, keeping guys out of the paint. And he does a great job rebounding the basketball, pushing the basketball, boarding and pushing like we always talk about, grabbing and going. That wasn't there. Like it was annoying to watch them continue to get offensive board after offensive board.
Yes. And
they just they capitalized, it seemed like every single time the Pistons didn't finish that possession defensively. And that was extremely annoying. So I just think the little things that a lot of people take for granted at times when it comes to what he can do, especially defensively, it kind of gets taken for granted a little bit. And I think we kind of see it more when he's not there, because I really do think he's the backbone. He just makes he makes us better in so many different ways defensively. And I think when he's not there, we just kind of see it. So, like I said, I don't think we're in a SAR away from being a championship contender. But in games like this, games like the last game against the Nets, I think it becomes even more obvious how important he is to this team.
Agreed. But have you also noticed that we are 0-4 since Stu returned?
Really?
That's true.
That's interesting. I wouldn't credit that to him, but that is interesting.
We were 6-1 with Paul Reed in the lineup. And then I don't know if you can't really point to anything because we've been disconnected. But like, even if Stu returns and you realize that we were 6-1 with Paul Reed in the lineup, wouldn't you want Paul Reed back in the lineup?
Yeah.
Tonight, after he, in 5 minutes, got 10 points and 5 boards. He tied JD with boards, and JD played twice as much as him. So
yeah, they got to find a way to get him some more minutes. They have to. Like I don't know. I still don't know why he's not playing. Like against the Spurs when we're playing the Alien, against the 2 big lineup with the Cavs. Like tonight, like I just don't understand why he's not playing. He hasn't done anything to warrant DNPs or trash minutes, trash time, garbage minutes late in game. I just don't understand. I don't get that. I really don't.
Yeah, Paul Reed's been reliable enough, especially for what they would have needed. You needed Wemby out of the paint, and the best way to do that is having a shooter for him to guard. And Paul Reed is the best shooter of the 3 bigs that you have. So, relying on Dern as much as they try to, and even Stu, who can be a good shooter at times, but Paul Reed is clearly the better offensive player. I don't know. It does drive me crazy to see that we don't use or see a lot more of Paul Reed in the normal rotation with this team, because he's been a godsend for them. He's their break the glass guy, and he helps them a lot. Even at the end of this game, like, great, I don't think they were going to win, but he was giving them great energy in the fourth quarter with not even the starters. He was just doing this with whoever was around him. And I think Paul Reed is continuing to be slept on with what this team needs, but I don't know. It's a complicated situation how they can get him in, I guess.
I genuinely think that if we brought in Paul Reed to help finish out the last 5 minutes of every quarter, it would have been a different story. But we waited for the 5 minutes of the game. Because he's just like, what we needed he was chasing loose balls. He was hitting threes. He was grabbing boards. Like we just needed more of his energy to help us carry that over into the next quarter. It's something that we couldn't get from Ron tonight. It's something we got, Ron was out there, but like, I don't know. It's just like, was still just a little bit off tonight.
Yeah. So we'll get to Paul Reed a little bit more. Let's get into some individuals. First, let's check the poll. See what you guys thought as far as to why we lost this game. 36% says soft defense, 24% says no second option, 22% says slow start, and 19% says poor shooting. And honestly, I think this may have been the most balanced poll we've seen, win or lose. So unfortunately, it came in a loss because it just shows that the Pistons, once again, like I said, didn't do anything well tonight. So that's uninspiring. That's very disappointing. But we'll go back and check on the poll a little bit later. Guys, let's get to some box scores individually and see how this game broke down a little bit more. And let's start with Cade Cunningham, who returned to action tonight, guys. Cade Cunningham finished with 26 points on 9 for 18 shooting, 6 for 9 from 3, 2 for 2 from the free throw line, 1 board, 10 assists, 4 turnovers in 35 minutes, which was a team high. I'll come to you first, E. What did you see tonight from Deuce in this game?
I feel like he's gonna crash out soon, man. I'm really happy. I'm happy with what Cade did tonight. It really makes me mad that they wasted 6 3-pointers from him when that's never his bread and butter at all. He was finding a rhythm from deep. He's been a lot more confident with his 3-point shot, and you can see his frustration. I saw somebody try to hand him some water. He wouldn't even look at him. He's like, get that away from me. And he had a good game, 26 points, efficient shooting, got his guys involved with 10 assists, tried to play some good defense. And again, this is a Miami Heat team that didn't even have Norman Powell. Like, people keep forgetting, he didn't even play today. He killed them last time when they were at LCA. But I liked what I saw from Cade. I see a lot of frustration building up in him right now, and I don't blame him. It's frustrating to see him just carry so much. And I'm on my stream too, and I'm like looking around too because people were asking about secondary scoring. Every single team that's in playoff contention right now has multi-dynamic scores with efficient shooting around them. The Pistons are the only team that don't consistently have that. And if I'm Cade Cunningham and I'm in year 5, that's frustrating knowing that. Like, I understand the circumstances of some of the situations, but it's frustrating playing back the Trajan Langdon soundbite of, hey, we're just going to wait and see it's an evaluation year. When your players are telling you, hey, bro, we want to win a championship as soon as possible. We feel like we're ready. And I feel like they're wasting Cade's time because he's doing all that he can. I thought he had a good game today. Didn't get to the free throw line but 2 times, which I think is kind of insane. But he did as much as he could considering the circumstances. So I wasn't mad about what Cade did today.
Yeah, I mean, considering... we always say, like, Not that you got to blow it up or go do something crazy, but just give him a little bit of help. Would have been help. Bro. Yeah, just something. So I agree with you there, bro, for sure. Go ahead, boss. Get in there.
Yeah, I mean, I get it's frustrating, but it's just something we can just talk about the what ifs all day. Even if we did sell a bunch of guys and brought in someone for help, we don't know the asking price for certain people. We don't know if we would still have this losing streak because chemistry was off. But like for me, I'm not worried about what they do by surrounding Cade. I get the wanting to speed it up, but like off season will be different. Like if we don't make a big move in the off season, then that's when I'm just like, this is ridiculous because it's over now. It's done with. And the way that we were playing, like I was in both of us, me and Deuce were both kind of in the boat of like, I wouldn't really hate it if we didn't make any big move, which is kind of what we did. So you could do what ifs and should have, woulda, couldas all day. We could still end up with the same outcome, worse. So, but Cade. He started off slow, but Davion Mitchell is a great defender. He's one of my favorite players in the league. Fantastic defender, really made it tough for him. Because he wasn't even necessarily doubled. Davion Mitchell could just stay in front of him. Their other guy too, Gardner. I haven't seen much of him, but he defended very well also when they had to switch off. So slow start for Cade, but then he was really just, picking it up. He definitely would have had more assists if we were making some of our baskets. But yeah, this is like his second game in a row with 26. Now I think he had 26 last game too. So I just hope that Cade had a good game, and we know that he can do more, but he can't do more just by himself. So I'm not mad at what I saw from him at all. He was just trying to get the team into it. He tried to make some defensive stops. He didn't record any stocks, but I don't think he really got blown by or anything. He recorded 3 fouls. But yeah, he was just trying to get his team going. And the 6 from 9 from 3 is very impressive, 50% overall. But man, 6 from 9 from 3, and then like no one else is reliable from 3 is very, very frustrating too.
No one else really showed up.
Tough.
Yeah. And you could see it too. You could see early in this game that he knew, or he at least got the sense that this might have to be a game where he looks for his own offense. Yeah, he was more aggressive, just kind of looking for his shot.
This is a tough.
Really deferring. He wasn't deferring. Yeah. So he just didn't get enough help. When you're missing the side defensively, you're gonna have to get some more offensive production, right? Some more offensive output. And outside of JD, the Pistons, they didn't get it. JD and Cade scored 50 points combined. The Pistons had 110. That's about 40% of their offense just between those two guys. So they didn't get anybody to really come with them. And I thought that was the biggest thing tonight outside of their defense. Anything else on that? So you got.
I think that kind of sums it up. Yeah.
He looked pissed or whatever.
I'm tired, bro. I'm tired of seeing him play like this. Like he's doing all that he can. And again, I don't think he played perfect. I think defensively he was kind of out of sync. Wasn't great shooting wise at some stretches in the first half, but I'm tired of seeing him have to do everything. And I agree, Sarah. Yes, we could woulda, coulda, shoulda all day, but knowing that he's in year 5, and again, I'm the fan where I can at least tolerate you making some moves, or at least try. Like it's not even the fact that he didn't do anything. I'm playing back the presser where he said we don't want to do much because of where we are. I'm the guy that can at least accept you saying, "Hey, we want to make sure we're as prepared as possible, and we're trying to do what's right and trying to add on some right pieces." They still needed pieces at the deadline. It's not like this team was perfect, heading into the deadline. They still were struggling in shooting. They still had spacing problems. Like, you still had issues. And you had enough of an evaluation at that point to know we got to do something to make sure we're prepared by March. Because as of right now, it looks like it's biting them in the ass right now. Like, great, I understand. I'm not saying they should have crashed for a superstar or just went out for just whatever. But sitting on your hands and saying this is just an evaluation period. And again, while to me, you're hearing different things. The fans have their own expectations. The front office has their expectations. It's an evaluation period. The players are telling you we want to go for a chip as soon as possible. Hearing that should put some kind of urgency in your ear to make some kind of moves, because Kevin Huerter being the only thing is just kind of discouraging. And again, I understand the decision, but if he would have came back and said, "Hey, we tried to do this and it didn't work. We picked up the phone to call these teams. It didn't work." Right. He said we was just chilling and we're going to figure it out later. That's the part that's bothering me, especially with Cade in year 5 still having to carry this much, and it doesn't look good based on what this team needs right now.
No,
Yeah, it's like trying to be the best you can be, regardless of, not saying push your chips all into the middle of the table, but trying to improve. Because one thing we always say was, this is, for me, it's about steps. If we win a round this year, it'll be disappointing. That's all we do. But if we get to the second round and we lose, I can at least live with that. So I think you should try to do anything you can to try to at least get that done. So if that's kind of what you're saying, it's like you don't want to get a situation where you're in the playoffs and you got a bad matchup and teams that kind of figured you out offensively, and you're finding yourself in jeopardy of not getting out of the first round again because you didn't make any moves. If that's kind of what you're saying, I feel you on that. Because I feel like if nothing is done now and there's a huge shift for us in the offseason, I think we'll all be okay with this right now. As long as if we get a Trey Murphy, for example, right, but nothing happened now, then it's like, all right, cool. But you're just saying, as far as a transparency standpoint, like, you want to at least know that some effort was made to try to get there. Okay, gotcha.
That's my issue. It's not that they didn't get anybody. It's that he said we're more content with just sitting and waiting with what we have and building on the power of friendship and letting that be our guide. Nah, bro. Like, that's not enough. You see what Boston's healthy now. Cleveland added somebody. They're playing better. I hate the Knicks, but they're playing better now. A lot of these teams in the East are playing better, and they don't look at you as the juggernaut of the East right now. They thinking that we could take a bunk out you, and I don't know. It's just very discouraging to see that this is where it's kind of like rubbishing up to. Again, what they're doing is fine, and what they've done up to this point is fine, but it is worrisome heading into this point of the season with this team that's young, inexperienced, working with new parts. And now they got injuries too with some of the most important players. Like, that's a big problem.
I feel that. Dr. CP14, Tito's, bro. It's gonna be a long night. It's gonna be a long night, bro.
Listening to people that called him, like that's why I predicted this on our roundtable. I was like, I think that Trajan knows what he wants to do in the offseason, and I think that some things he wasn't willing to give up right now, which is fair. And where we were in the offseason, where we were before the trade deadline, we still looked good. Yes, we had areas to improve, but we still looked okay enough to get it done without having to get rid of a bunch of people. So, I mean, I see the frustration. I think that this is just the first thing that people go to, of course, when we lose, which is fair. But I'm just more in the boat of, like, we did bring someone in and it was the wrong person based on who other people got. Like, you guys know, I was just mad. Like, we did make a small move was just fine, but we brought in the wrong small move. Like, there are other people.
Unless
like,
it translates to a
Aaron
big
McCain
move later.
was on the market. Right. Like, there were guys that were on the market that we could have brought in and could have immediately brought us offense. And instead, we're just excited for Herter hitting a 3 every now and then, every one.
Yeah, it feels like a Make-A-Wish type joint. Yeah. Like, oh my God, he made a layup. Bro, he's supposed
to.
Yeah, raise the bar. Raise the bar.
The contract is for later on because it expires.
Right,
like, this
of course.
He is fighting ahead. So I agree with Deuce. Like, I think we're all going to be chill with how he handled things this season if the way he handles things brings us what we need in the offseason at a good price. But
it's just hard to wait. It's hard in the present. Yeah.
And we're also just very frustrated after a 4-game lose streak. It'd be different if, like, we were going one, like, after a 4-game lose streak, you're just like, oh, we could have, like, what? It's just a bunch of, like I said, shoulda, coulda, woulda. By the way, the Celtics, like, Boosh just got a season-ending injury.
Is season-ending?
Anything. Yeah, he has to get surgery on his finger.
I didn't realize what season-ending.
That's who they brought in. And yeah, of course, Tatum's healthy now, but that's who they brought in. And Kata's doing really well. Any team could kind of go on and off. The Knicks had their own losing streak, but that was early in their season. It just sucks that ours is coming now. Right. There is a lot of adjustments needed for sure. But these guys have shown that they can do it, this unit. And even if it's tougher, they can do it. So we just have to get back to that with this unit. We know that this unit right now still can do good things. They've just felt off for the past 2 weeks. So
it's not the fact that they're losing too, it's how they're losing is the problem. Like, if you're in a nip and tuck situation and the better team just executes down the stretch, all right, it is what it is. I feel like San Antonio exposed a lot of their problems. I feel like the Nets showed that, hey, y'all aren't as dominant as you think you are. And then the Heat came in with the same energy. Like, no, we can get y'all from the beginning and carry this out for the whole game. Like, I feel like I agree that, yes, the losing is what it is. Like, you can deal with the loss. But how they're losing to me is where the alarms are going off. They're taking away their biggest strengths right now. Like, they're not playing in transition. Their defense isn't as in sync as it has been all year.
Yeah.
Like, even the thing that you just said about Stu, like, that was supposed to be what people were most excited about after the suspension, and they were doing fine without him thanks to Paul Reed. I feel like a lot of the issues that are being exposed are, again, they're coming at a terrible time, and they're coming with the question of, can we fix this? Because it's not, again, what's the fix to what we're seeing right now? We don't have the answers, but I don't know. I just feel like we're seeing a big problem right now.
I have a quick question. Do you think a move would a move be warranted if Jenkins wasn't in a slump and like other guys that like just kind of fell in a slump around that same time?
Yeah.
Like I feel like if Jenkins wasn't in a slump and Duncan was getting his 4 and 5 threes a night, it would be like kind of the same that our offense has been. Like, yeah, we still need more, but at least would be a little bit more tolerable. Like, it just sucks. Like, not only did we not bring in someone that could give us immediate offense, our guys that we did upgrade and have relied on for offense production have also just fallen off.
Yeah, it's kind of happening at the same time. I think a lot of things are kind of culminating at the same time.
Stuff,
but that's a fair question. Yeah, it's fair. Yeah. I just think, I think Dennis's dip, unfortunately, is coming at a bad time, but I still do think that they could have needed a little bit more help, even with that being the case anyway. Like, I feel like, Javonte is a good guy, he's a good player, but I don't think he's been as consistent as you would want to, see over these past, few weeks, unfortunately. Karras, we all know how we feel about Karras. Tobias is either playing really damn good or he's just kind of invisible. Duncan kind of the same way. Like, I feel like, there was, like, again, I like where Dennis was playing at a certain point, but no, I don't think there was just, I don't think what he was giving was enough to kind of tolerate everything else that was happening within the roster, to answer your question.
Okay.
I think that's fair. We got some super chats we got to get to, guys, and then we'll head over to Duncan. Alan says, are Pistons showing signs of collective fatigue due to their demanding style of play over the course of the season? Have the other teams finally read the book on them, or is it both? I don't think it's real. I think it honestly may be more so the latter than the former, because the Pistons have a deep team. They're equipped to be able to play this way. That's why when we had our 13-game winning streak and guys were out, the streak continued at 6, 7 to continue when K had to sit down, when Tobias was hurt, because of our depth. So I don't really think it's style of play. I think we have a team that is constructed to be able to sustain that all year. I really do. I just think that the glaring needs that we have are just kind of starting to show their face. That's why I think it's more so the latter than the former. I think teams are starting to figure out more so how to play us. I think the Spurs, like E mentioned, kind of exposed a little bit of that because of their ability to kind of take away our strengths. So I think that's more so than anything, is just teams are kind of figuring out what to do against us more so than we're getting mental or physically fatigued. Maybe it's mental fatigue, but physically, I don't think so. What do y'all think?
Yeah, it might be mental fatigue. For me, I can't really point to anything other than because I've seen good teams, all good teams this season and past seasons go through slumps like this. Ours is coming at a very inopportune time, but it just seems like, but we're not even, it's frustrating and it's a bummer because I turn on the TV and I watch the first quarter and I'm like, we're not even playing like us. This isn't exciting basketball. All year I was showing people the Pistons this year, watching games, like, see how fun we are? See what we can do. And it's just that energy has been gone for like 2 weeks. And so I don't know if it feels more internal. I'm not going to put it on other teams because any team can adjust, but it feels more internal of like just being in a mental slump. And then when you come out and you start the game slow, you can't snap it right away. It reminds me of, and I think we will snap out of this soon, but in the 28 game losing streak, when we were coming close to winning and we would still lose, it was because like little things like would just stall us mentally. And I wonder if, because one of the most consistent things right now is getting off to slow starts. And then with the Nets, it was just kind of giving off to a slow start in the second and never snapping out of that and kind of just accepting it. So I think a cure for this is to come out and have a huge start and then just never stop. Like I want JD to like, he should be running over the bigs in Brooklyn. Like I just want us to realize that we are number one again and just kind of just snap out of it and go show every team why we're number one. Not worry about foul calls, not worrying about aggressiveness, being physical, just play our style and let it fall back in place.
Yeah. E?
Yeah, I agree. I think it could be a blend of both, to be honest. I think, playing as hard as they do, the Pistons emphasize a lot on defense. They move and rotate quicker than a lot of other teams do. They put a lot of pride in that hard work and, trying basically outworking their opponents.
Mhm.
And unfortunately, we've been seeing them get outworked by, a lot of teams now. I think teams like the Spurs, I think they're just outmatched against them. I think they
Yeah.
just have everything to kind of neutralize a team like the Pistons.
Yep.
And I feel like, unfortunately, I don't know if it's carryover from those games or what it is, but I feel like really since those games, they just haven't had the same kind of consistent energy. I don't think they played a good, consistent game. I think y'all talked about this yesterday. They haven't played a good, consistent game since Madison Square Garden.
Yeah.
From what I remember. I think someone told me the Orlando game, but even Orlando, they weren't great in the first half. Like, they had a horrible shooting start, and they weren't as crisp defensively as they were against the Knicks in Madison Square. So, I think it could be kind of a mix of both. I think it's a lot of blame to go around. I think some coaching decisions haven't been great. I think the guys haven't really been as locked in. They've played very lethargic defensively. And I think a lot of the issues that they've had coming into the season are really getting highlighted when you're tired and coming into the year. Where even like last year, they had guys like, granted, I liked Tim Hardaway Jr. and Beasley as shooters, but they did more to kind of give you like better diversity in terms of their production. Now I feel like the guys that they have now are kind of like dialed into the things that they do, and I don't think they give much else outside of that compared to what they had last season. So it makes it a little hard to carry that into later points of the season. So
That's true.
I don't know. I just think it could be a mix of both, but again, it can't be coming at a worse time, unfortunately.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. This is it's a lot happening at the same time. Perfect storm for sure, man. Want to shout out Pops. Says even when you don't score, you must get stopped. That's a ball knower right there, guys. That's where I got a lot
Facts.
of my basketball knowledge growing up from back in the bad boys days. Shout out to Pops. Guys, let's go ahead and keep it pushing, man. Let's go now to Marcus Sasser, guys. Tonight, guys, Marcus Sasser finished with only 2 points, 0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, 2 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 2 assists, and 1 steal in 19 minutes. So I personally, guys, was not a huge proponent for Sass starting, not because of anything that he did wrong or does wrong, but just because of stylistically how we want to play didn't fit. So I'll get to that, but I want to let you guys chime in first. What do you guys see from Sass tonight? I'll come to you first, boss.
Yeah, same kind of thing. If Sass would make sense in the lineup if Duncan was out, but not if it's a SAR. Like we need a Ron or Woo for sure, and that's not a slight to Sass. You guys know that I love Sass. I appreciate his defense. He was the only starter to get a steal today.
Wow.
And yeah, but he and 0 of 3 is like he was 0 of 2 the 3-point line, and then 0 of 3. He made both of his points off of free throws, but he wasn't able to get a lot of shots up. He didn't create offense for himself. He only had 2 assists. So next to Cade, it was Kevin Huerter with 4 assists. Like the ball was not moving, and when it was, the shots weren't going in. So Sass, I think did his best out there as a starter, but he shouldn't have been. I saw a lot of hustle. He was diving for loose balls. He was doing that, creating disruptions. But this isn't on him. I just question why he was in to start when it should have been. I just think someone we should have had more size, like Ron or Wu. And I get why Jenkins didn't start with Cade because he is Cade's backup. But we could have even gone with the 2 big lineup and kept Duncan at the 2. Like we could have done a lot of things. I think especially after last night, I think he should have made those adjustments early, but for this game. So Sass's stat line is, he only got 3 shots up. He made his free throws. He was around. He played less than 20 minutes. But yeah, I don't even think he should have been in the starting lineup, to be honest.
Yeah.
Dwayne, I see you in the comments, man. Hit me up on social media. We can talk, bro.
Yes, sir.
I agree with really everything Sarah just said. I'm not really even mad at him for he didn't start himself. He didn't say, "Oh, I'm coming in, coach." Nah,
Right.
that was a JB decision, and I think
coach.
that's a poor call. Like he hasn't really played consistently all season, and this wasn't a situation where stylistically, as Sarah said, it made sense to put him in. This isn't a team that you kind of sleep on with a guy like Sass, and I think what he gave you, unfortunately, is what he was kind of prepared for. Like, yeah, 2 points, and he really wasn't really great outside the first half of last game either. I don't really understand why Ron wasn't starting. I would really like to see him in a more expanded role. I know he's the hustle man, but you've put resources into him being a bigger piece of this team, and I thought he would have been way better suited as a starter in terms of size, offensive output, running in transition, playing transition defense. Exactly. I think Ron would have been a much better decision, and I don't really understand why he wasn't the choice. But in terms
of go ahead. Finish,
no, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that was the confusing part for me, because I know when somebody asked why he actually got the start, and JB was just saying that he wanted to have more ball creation along with a guy like Dennis Jenkins on the court. First of all, that's a really small backcourt. Dennis is your biggest guard backcourt guy at 6'3". But I just feel like you said, bro, the focus needs to be the same way we always play. It's getting out in transition and running off of our defense. Mm-hmm. So when he said ball creation, it was just kind of confusing that was the focus, as opposed to getting somebody in there who can guard their best player in MPJ, instead of moving Duncan, who's played the 2 all year, to the 3, and then having him guard their best player. Yeah. So to me, that was confusing. So it's like I don't understand why the focus was an offensive standpoint to start Sass, as opposed to having a defensive guy in Ron at the 3 and just letting Duncan play the same spot he's played all year long. So to me, Sass, I didn't think it was going to work for those reasons anyway.
Right.
And I think yesterday with Jenkins was a little bit made sense, because Jenkins and Sass together have good chemistry. So that I was just like, okay, it didn't make sense in terms of he should be guarded, like move Duncan to the 3. Again, I said yesterday it would make sense if Sass was coming in for a guard. But today was most surprising when you have Cade back and Ron being Mr. Hustle Man. Sass can also, there were a few games that he became kind of microwave-esque for us, where he's come in with his energy too, whether it's shooting or stealing too. So Ron starting wouldn't take away from some of our bench guys coming off and providing energy. A lot of them do it. Paul Reed, Sass, Stu, So it was just because he can, like I said, I think he's really good at getting steals. He's pesky. He stays in front of defenders really well. The only thing is his size. Guys can just barrel over him or shoot over him if they want to. But yeah, he just.
And then too, he wasn't really able to really draw any attention away from Cade.
They didn't get to create. He was 0 of 3.
Yeah. But they weren't paying him any attention. That's one thing I've talked about, the difference between guys like Karis LeVert for me and guys like Kevin Huerter. At least Kevin Huerter can knock down shots when the double team comes. At least he can keep defenses somewhat honest. I didn't really feel like with Sass out there, the driving kicks weren't working for him. When he catching the ball, he couldn't even get a shot off. So it just didn't make any sense as far as the ball creation pieces. I don't really see how he was even helping Cade with the spacing, with the ball creation. It didn't seem like he was just kind of out there as another guy that they weren't paying attention to. Go ahead.
Right. And then when you're playing a team like the Nets, like going back to Sarah's point, where you're able to start Sass and Jenkins, who do have good chemistry together, and when you're playing against a team like the Nets, who aren't playing for much really outside of their future, they're not going to be as hungry as a team. They shouldn't be, because they showed they were. They weren't coming in as hungry as a team like Miami, who Bam said, look, we're not trying to be in the play-in this year. We're trying to show that we one of the real teams in the East. So they're really trying to show that they're for real. And when you're playing a guy like Sass, who, again, doesn't really give you anything to his strengths, which was supposed to be scoring, it shows how much that can be a bit of a liability. So, yeah, I didn't again, it's not really so much of his fault. I didn't really like JB's decision of playing him and starting him as he did, because it didn't show to do anything for him at all.
Yeah.
This game or last game, for me at least. Yeah. All right, guys, we'll leave it there on him, man. Let's keep it pushing, guys. Let's go now to Duncan Robinson, who started again at the 3. And tonight he gave you 3 points on 1 for 7 shooting. All those shots were threes, 3 boards, 2 assists in 24 minutes. I'm coming back to you, bro. What'd you see tonight from Duncan Robinson at the small forward position?
You can't have it. You cannot have a 1 of 7 night from Duncan Robinson. You just can't. I've been saying this all season, and I think we might probably say it again a lot today. I think the Pistons have a lot of guys who bite off more than they should be chewing. again, I'm not trying to re-harp on he didn't add anybody. We're not going to go back to that again. But my issue is with a guy like Duncan. He's arguably their number 2 most important scorer next to Cade. And that's a problem. Again, he's really the only guy that's been the most reliable in terms of spacing. But when he's blanketed and he's cold, you see how much it affects this offense. The Pistons, unfortunately, are an offense that can be viewed as one-dimensional, where they're trying to force their way into the paint. But if your opponent is able to knock down threes and keep you off balance defensively, and you can't capitalize with keeping pace with them. And granted, they try not to, play the game of keeping pace. Oh, you want to hit threes? We're going to shoot threes. But you have to have some level of unpredictability to keep the defense off balance. Exactly. And you see teams still putting you in zones. You're still in zones. You're still in matchup zones. And if your best shooter can't take advantage of that, that's a problem. A hot night for him plus Cade's 6 threes, you're having a different conversation right now. And he couldn't give you anything out of a 1-7 night, which is really alarming. Again, I think he's biting off more than he can chew as their, number 2 or number 3 most important scorer. But this is the hand they've dealt, unfortunately. And these are the kind of nights that you can kind of expect if he's cold and everybody else is kind of in a slump as well.
Yeah, it didn't help that they're very familiar with this game too. Go ahead.
Exactly.
Boss.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where I'm at with it. I've said it before about LeVert. I've said it about a couple guys. Like, when you're playing your old team, this is when we rely on you also to just pop off. Like, this is where you're comfortable. You've been comfortable. Tobias does it very well. Tobias plays against the Magic and the Sixers extremely well. But yeah, Duncan, I mean, he just couldn't get anything. And usually we even see him attempt to drive to the basket. We didn't see that tonight at all, which is okay. Like, we do like him at the perimeter, and that's where he's supposed to be making his shots. And we're trying to get back into the game for the majority of the game. So it makes sense that he went for a 3. But, he the effort is there. The shots weren't falling. And sometimes when the 3 isn't falling, we've seen him, like I said, make cuts to the basket, try to see it go in the hoop, try to adjust that way. Mm-hmm. So, but they were they were keeping him pretty scoreless. This was a game that I really needed Duncan to come back into his form again in the stadium that he's been playing at. That he played at for basically his whole career before he came here. Against a former team, where's that fire? Where's that energy? You got traded by Paul, like I said, B-Ball Paul and Tobias Harris do it very well against their respective teams. We haven't seen Herter have to go against the Bulls or anything like that, but he definitely should have been better in that aspect. He did record a block. He's still on his streak of recording a stock in a game, so I'm proud of him there. But yeah, nothing was falling for him, and they weren't even close. And I they weren't air balls or anything, but they weren't in and outs or anything. They were just long or short.
Yeah, we talked about Cade going 6 for 9. We need some games of Duncan Robinson going 6 for 9 from 3.
Yeah.
The last 2 games before this game, he shot a combined 9 threes.
Yeah.
He shot 4 2 games ago, and he shot 5 last game. That's not enough, man. We need him to get up more shots. I know last game he was in foul trouble because of the matchup, because of him being at the 3, because of him guarding MPJ. I get that. But still, we need him to have the ultimate green light, especially in the half court, especially in games when you're not able to get out and transition and score. Then we need guys like him and Tobias Harris who are best in the half court. If you're going to be subjected there, you need both of those guys to be able to get off and do what they do best. So 1 for 7 is not going to cut it, bro. That's just not going to get it done. So we got to get more from Duncan Robinson for sure. Defensively, he's always going to give effort, but especially when you're missing a guy like Asar Thompson defensively, you got to get some shots to fall. You have to, and he hasn't been able to do that lately. So that's all I got for him, man. I don't really have a lot of notes on him other than that he just was kind of didn't do it for me tonight in this game. So
like I said, you see the difference. You see the difference between what Beasley was doing last year, where you couldn't tell him to stop shooting, and he was making more so than he wasn't.
Right.
It helps for him to keep shooting than to not shoot at all. You need those kind of nights from Duncan, and he's had some good nights, and he's definitely been productive. But 1 of 7 is never going to cut it with a team that lacks this much shooting. It's just not going to work.
Yeah. Even THJ, when he wasn't knocking him down, he was still letting him go. He was still finding ways to still get involved, right? So we just need more of that from Dunk. We're going to absolutely need it for sure going forward. So we'll leave it there on him, guys. Let's go now to Tobias Harris in this game, guys. Tobias Harris finished with 9 points on 3 for 6 shooting, 0 of 2 from 3, 3 from the free throw line, 1 board, He did get 2 blocks in 24 minutes of play. So let me come to you first, boss. What did you see tonight from Uncle T?
Well, NBA has them having 3 blocks.
Okay.
Just so I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. 9 points, like obviously we need more from him, but 3 of 6. I mean, that's 50%. But it's just like so many of these guys didn't get shots up today. They just weren't able to get it. This is his lowest rebounding effort in a while. They were just out rebounding us, especially the starting unit. I mean, none of their guys picked up. Nobody on either team got double-digit rebounds. But it just felt like we were just being really just out rebounded, especially early and on the offensive boards. But so just an average Tobias game, only 2 fouls, no turnovers. He's been stepping it up a lot lately for us. And today, obviously, a little bit more production from him could definitely helped with Cade and JD out there basically doing it all for us. But that just wasn't the pace of the game. And I mean, it's also just crazy that we only got like 6 fast break points and Tobias didn't have a game because he's been very, very reliable lately in the mid range and in the half court. So straight there, but otherwise not too mad about it.
We talked about Duncan's volume. I don't even like Tobias shooting 2 threes. Excuse me. That's not enough. That's not enough at all. That shows that their spacing wasn't right. It shows that he wasn't even an option to shoot more than he was giving. Like, I like when he posts up. I like, when he gives them the versatile look of being able to give you some punch in terms of their half court sets. But he has to be a spacer as well. He has to be able to be both. It can't just be one or the other. It has to be both based on what this team and this roster is constructed around. Like, again, he's also another guy that's kind of biting off more than he should be chewing. I don't think he played a lot of minutes. Only 24 is not a lot because Beef Stew played 22 as well. They tried to break the glass, bring Paul Reed in for a little bit, but only 6 minutes worth of time. You can't have him be as quiet as he was. Again, I've always said that his volume doesn't matter, but if he's only shooting 6 shots and 2 threes, that's a huge problem. Like, I don't think there should be, like, he should be shooting roughly around whatever Jalen Duren is shooting. Jalen Duren took 12 shots, most of them basically around the hoop. But you should have way more volume and way more attempts from a guy like Tobias Harris. They were like, JB calls on him as their security blanket. Well, you got to lean on him like it because he wasn't like that at all for this team in terms of their options of shooting or creation at all. Like, I was really underwhelmed with what we saw from Tobias, unfortunately.
And it's hard to lean on it for the reason that you mentioned, because everybody's kind of biting off more than what they can chew. Like, guys are getting extended further than they should be because they don't have the real skill set to be able to do what's asked of them, what Cade actually needs them to do for the defense, to be honest. Right. And man, like, I'm with you. Like, he has to get up more attempts though. Like, he has to. It's tough to ask for that reason, but it's like he has to give us more. He has to give us more. A lot of these, and it's not even just him. Like, this is how you know our team is not complete yet, because we want to be defensive-minded team, but at 2 of our spots, we're kind of soft defensively, right? At the 2, we're not great defensively, and at the 4 with Tobias, we're not great defensively. And it's not even a shot at him. He's getting older. You're seeing him now on the perimeter not being able to stay up front at all. Like, tonight I was watching him rotating, and he was not able to provide any resistance on the perimeter. They were just getting right by him. Another breakdown. Now you got to rely on rotations all over. It's just too much. So it just shows me even more that this team is not complete at all. They're not complete. To have Cade and JD get you 50 and the other 3 starters get you 14, that ain't going to cut it. That ain't going to cut it. So to your point, bro, it's like we need to have more, but with what we have right now, where can we realistically and consistently expect it to come from, especially if they're biting off more than they can chew? So I'm right there with you. It's just showing me more and more this team has a ways to go as far as their personnel, because they still don't have enough. Even though when they're whole, they're very good defensively, as they need a little bit more offensively to be able to help Cade at times when they're not able to get out in transition, when they're not able to run. Just somebody who can help them in the half court, just create and get shots. So Doug says, Eric, is this an expectations problem?
Yes.
So let me ask you guys, like, here's the thing. This is why perspective is still important, because what was you guys' expectation coming into this season? And this is why I'm not trying to play Angels advocate, but I got to keep it a stat, because we're 8-6 over the last 14 games. Nobody saw us being where we are right now. If I told you that our longest win streak of this season at the beginning of the season would be 4 games, a lot of people wouldn't believe me. The Pistons started off last year on a 4-game losing streak. They started off 0-4 to start the season. We're just now getting to the point with that losing streak right now in game 62. So I want to keep it in perspective and not say that, the sky is falling, but the expectation question is an important one because nobody really saw this team being an Eastern Conference contender until about 2 months ago. So what are your thoughts on that, E?
Yeah, I think that's totally fair. I just think the problem in terms of what Doug is saying, because I don't think fans are having unfair expectations. I feel like if you see your team playing well, your expectations can change and shift. There's no problem with that at all. My issue in terms of expectation is what I was talking about earlier. They're not aligning with the front office expectations and the players' expectations. So I'm going to say the same thing again. We've heard Jalen Duren talk about wanting a championship. Cade has talked about wanting a championship. Tobias has talked about finals expectations. These guys are talking about making a serious push to something bigger. They asked Cade, what does it show the team after what you did at Madison Square Garden? He said nothing. Like, what we need to do improve is going to come in the postseason, and that's what we're most hungry for. They're hungry to get to that level, and your front office is just telling you, we're just evaluating right now. We'll see. No, bruh. You said that last season. You got to adjust your expectations at a certain point. So yes, Doug, I do think it's an expectations problem because they're not aligning accordingly. The fans, I think, are 100% fair because a lot of fans, I think, came in, like myself included. I wanted to see them win a playoff series, and I think they're capable of getting to an ECF, possibly the finals. Possibly. That doesn't mean they're going to get there, or I think they're going to. I think it is possible. But I think as the season went on, like Deuce said, things changed. They're playing better than expected. And knowing that's the case, knowing the East was a lot more open in December and January than it is now in March, the expectations didn't change between what the front office was talking about earlier in the season and at this point right now. That's a problem. The players are telling you, we want to go get it now. And you sitting here saying, we'll figure it out when it's time. It's time now, bruh.
So
go win and take advantage.
Do you think the discourse is different between us in Trajan versus players in Trajan? Do you think it's possible that behind closed doors, there is some level of understanding that there is a plan and we just don't know it yet? Because we don't get everything. So outside looking in, it may be hard for us to understand. But do you think it's possible that there is some level of understanding between the players and the front office, even if we don't see it? I'm just trying to put it out there as a thought.
It could be. It's possible. Also, if you're in the comment section and your team hasn't won a championship since 1973, you shouldn't even be talking about championships right now. Second of all, yes, I do think it's possible that whatever the players are discussing with the front office may be not aligning with what Trajan is seeing. I think that's very possible. Now, granted, the Pistons are good at keeping things in-house. If there are frustrations, I mean, we saw the frustrations spill out during the Monty year, and that got messy quickly. So I'm happy that at least the possible conversations they could be having are kept in-house if possible. But I 100% sure do think it is possible that they're maybe just having different points of view in terms of where they are or where they're going.
Yeah. Boss?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I just I maybe you just know more because you're in the media with them, but to me, I haven't gotten that vibe at all. I feel like Trajan has just told these guys that he trusts them enough to not move them mid-season because he trusts them to go out and do their strengths. And it's not only that what we were lacking before is still lacking now. We're even falling off in areas that we were doing well at, defense, stuff like that. So yeah, this team wants to win a championship, but you only have a certain period to go make a move. And that move that was made was to get somebody who wanted off the team. And then he just said, okay, I trust you guys. You guys earned this. You guys got to where you are. You guys can go get this. And yeah, so I don't think he's purposely being ignoring what Cade and JD had to say. I think he does have a plan for the off season. And I think that more this is warranted come off season when it's every player you ask, what are your goals this season? They're going to say, I want to win a championship. Every player. So, I mean, and so I just, I just wasn't, I think it just sounds like we're blaming Trajan and front office way too early. when he basically kept our guys and let the guys who have helped us get here stay on the team. And I genuinely think because of the way that he has handled other things for us in his short stint with us, I genuinely think he has something in mind. And even if he was trying to make a move, maybe they asked too high of a price that he wasn't willing to pay. Maybe, so I think that this is again, like I said earlier, if something major isn't brought in or almost the wrong move is made in the offseason or something more confusing, like if we don't go for a great two-way player with an emphasis on offense, like if we just then I'm like he's not aligning with what this team wants. But for now, it sounds like that they are aligning. Trajan's kind of a guy. He's not going to come out here and be like, oh yeah, well I tried, but we just couldn't get it done. Like a little bit of it is just like PR.
I don't think there's nothing wrong with that though.
Yeah, what's wrong with him saying that?
Go ahead, E. Go ahead.
But like, what if you said, okay, so because he did say that he was accepting calls. So maybe he was, like, well, what would you give up for these? And what if it was 3 guys that we wanted on our team? What if nobody was willing to trade it for anybody unless we gave them a star? Like I think he's still giving these guys a chance to do well.
Chill, dude.
I say word. Go ahead, bro.
I'm hearing it.
I just like, and I get it what you're saying, but it's just this discourse is very quickly turning into blaming Trajan, and it's a 4-game lose streak in one of the best seasons we've ever had. And I don't
agree.
want to get that way. And I just think like, and Eric, like you, obviously we all have an opinions here, but when they hear it from you, then it gives them more volume to be like, yeah, Trajan's the problem. Because
I mean, I'm not going to say that because I think everybody here knows where they are pretty much very well seated with how they feel. I don't want to put that on E and be like, well, you can't push that.
I'm just saying like when, yeah. I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? I'm giving everybody here credit that they have their own thought process on that. Even if we do differ with that, I think if I see both points. I just think it's hard right now because we're in the moment. We're in the moment, and we have not had this kind of adversity this year at all. We haven't really had any struggles at all this year. Nothing to really complain about at all. This just happens to be the first thing that it is. If he doesn't do anything in the offseason to kind of facilitate and help the areas that we're talking about right now, and come day one of the regular season, we still have these glaring issues, and Cade still doesn't have enough help around him, and we have all these log jams, in our backcourt and front court. Then I'm like, well, what was all that talk from last year about you having a plan and wanting to do this and that? But we're not there yet. So I never thought we were going to get to the finals and win the championship. So I'm not even tripping right now on this either way. That's why I asked about the expectation. So I'm not even really bothered right now because I knew it wasn't going to be a finished product by the time we got to the end of the season, regardless of how far we got. So I'm more so in the train of like, once we get to the offseason, if you make the necessary moves then, since we're not going to win a championship this year, we probably all agree, right? Maybe you get to a different round. Maybe you get a little bit a round deeper if you make a move to bring a guy at the deadline. Okay, cool. But Eric, you were saying championship. I don't think any moves they made this year without gutting the roster would have gotten them to that championship. So if it does next year and it doesn't this year, I'm still cool with that. You know what I mean? Go ahead.
Just real quick, I want to reiterate. I think if we had this losing streak or if we were playing like we're playing now for the past 2 weeks, I think if this all happened before deadline, then I would be frustrated with the lack of non-moves. But we were still pretty much in the height of how we've been playing at deadline too. So it was just like it's kind of imagine he did make a move and we brought someone in and we still went through this right now. Then people that were like rooting for
especially
Jaden
with Tatum
Ivey,
going back now.
I'm just
thinking too. Go ahead, E. I want to hear E.
I miss Ivy. It's just like
I know what you're saying. I know what you mean.
So yes, there is a possibility that you can bring somebody in and it could be Charlie Villanueva 2.0. That's 100% possible.
Not Charlie.
My thing is this. I've been a Piston fan all my life. Since the Bad Boys, since the 04 Pistons, where they had a finished product and they had championship teams, this team has not had a young building block piece that they could actually assemble pieces around and find winning direction. You have a top 3 player on your roster and you are letting time go. Bruh, I'm sorry. I'm not mad at you at all because what you say, it's going to turn into, oh, Trajan's the problem. I'm not saying he's the problem, but I am saying that he's not trying to solve the issues that they've had. Because be clear, yes, they've been winning all year, but the problems that they've had have been problems all season long. Lack of spacing has been a problem. Lack of shooting has been a problem. Lack of a secondary creator has been a problem. All of these issues have existed all season, but they've had players and timing that have been able to hide and mask those issues throughout the season. Knowing you have a Cade Cunningham who's told you, dog, I'm trying to win and go get it now, you got to take advantage of it as soon as possible. Again, I'm a guy and a fan that can at least say, hey, you know what, dog? I appreciate that you're at least trying to do the right thing. I'm not hearing the things from Trajan Langdon that indicate that he's trying to maximize a window of an MVP candidate player. You can't keep just throwing these low risk, high reward type guys of maybe it'll work out and maybe it'll get, no, bruh. Like, try to understand where we are with this team, because you said this is an evaluation period. You knew it was an evaluation period when you traded Jaden Ivey too, showing you're willing to make some kind of moves. So granted, yes, he said he was fielding calls, and I heard him say that, but you also gave the impression that you weren't really trying to do much with those calls either. So I would at least just appreciate maybe some urgency, because yeah, it's very clear maybe, you know, he got some offers that just weren't fielding, and that's fine. But I'm not even hearing the urgency that he saw himself on the table, or is even acknowledging that there are issues that they need to work on. He's still giving the power of friendship, and we don't want to run, rock the boat right now with our chemistry. But I'm not trying to hear that, bro. You have a MVP. Piston fans, how many times have y'all seen an MVP candidate on your roster since y'all been alive? Cade is a dog. You have to take advantage of that, and I'm not hearing the urgency that he's taking that very serious right now.
So once again though, because like perspective is important. Like, we're first in the East, bro. Like, we haven't been first in the East like this all year. Like, so I just want to make sure we keep it in perspective too. For sure. He's only been here a year and a half. He's been like 2 years that he's been here. So like, and the things he's done in 2 years coming off the 14-68 season are ridiculous. Like, I don't think it has to be in the ECF for Cade to be happy this year. I don't see it that way. I don't see it that. You know what I'm saying? So
I agree with that.
Like, if year 3 after a 44-38 season and a 60-win season, if in year 3 we're contending because he went and got the piece to get us over the hump, I think Cade is cool with that. I think he's cool with it. That's why I'm just I'm not gonna say he's not doing it, because he's done it already. And it's like, yeah, you maximize the window, but are you shortening the window while you're maximizing it? And that's what I think what Boss is saying is like, what were the moves out there to make? Are the moves to get us better now going to shorten that window later?
Then say that.
I feel you.
Then say that. Don't tell me we don't want to rock the boat because our chemistry is good now. I'm not trying to hear that. Maybe he just don't want to
tell us that. Maybe he just don't want to tell it. Maybe he's telling them that. That's what I'm saying. Maybe it's possible that he's telling them that.
I personally don't like that. I don't like that personally.
If he came and sat down and he was like, well, we want Trey Murphy, but Joe Dumars says he's not available. So now we're just stuck. That's what you want to hear?
No, it's not even Trey Murphy. It's not a star. It's not a superstar. Like, it's a
ton of people available at deadline. Think about all the moves that could have been traded. MPJ was a name. Najee Marshall was a name. Herb Jones. All these names were like, these guys are definitely moving at deadline. And then they didn't, because these teams, that was like what the media was feeding us. It doesn't necessarily mean that those were available. So I get it. We definitely could have brought in somebody that's better than Herter that could have helped us finish the season. This is definitely reiterated. But we brought in Herter also for his contract because we're going after a bigger fish in the off season. And it sucks that it has to be the off season. And it sucks that we're going through this drought right now after that. But that's just kind of weird. It's like not every player is just available at deadline it's not a free for all.
And of course, I'm not even mad at whatever his plan was. I'm talking about what he's telling everybody. If that's the case, Sarah, I'm fine with that. I'm not even telling him to reveal his hand. He's a smart guy. I've had conversations with him. He's very shrewd about telling what his intentions are without showing what his head is. He's a very smart man. And for me, I'm tired of hearing the conversation. We've heard more about the chemistry is great in the locker room and everybody loves each other. We've heard more about that than addressing what the problems are on this roster. That's the issue that I have. Again, I'm not sitting here telling you that he should have crashed out for just any damn body. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying give the impression that you're trying or have a plan to maximize what's in front of you at this current moment. Because as you exceed expectations, which you did last season and this season, you have to be able to change your way of thinking. You can't keep sitting on this, we're just going to sit and figure out what we have. You know what you have. You know Asar is, where he is right now. JD is where he is. JI is where he is. You know what's in front of you, and you still talking about evaluation and all that. Bro, I'm not trying to hear that. Take advantage of what's in front of you at this moment because your team is trying to get to somewhere serious, and you're not communicating that that's most important to you when you say things like, it's evaluation time, we'll see what happens over time. I'm not trying to hear that, bro.
I think Brad Holmes has really made this a lot harder for you, bro. I really do.
It's been a Detroit sports thing, period, bro. Sorry, go ahead, Sarah. Go ahead.
No, I think, and I agree with what you're saying, but at the same time, like it just comes off as like a public relations thing. It just comes off of you're just not liking the words that are coming out of his mouth, which is cool, but like his actions, like he didn't just break up this team for nobody. He got rid of, it's not like he moved a lot for Herter. Of course, we miss Ivy and we love Ivy, but he was clearly done here in his head. So I definitely think I understand what you're saying, but I also think that you're giving too much into his words. Like just because there's other things he said, like he said it, like you're just, and I get it too, because I'm the same way, because I was telling Deuce, if Trajan's telling me we're not making a big move this season and he goes and gets somebody and sells half the team, I'm mad. I'm pissed because you lied to me. So it's
so now he's setting you up because if he doesn't do that, this is going to come back and look crazy. And it's not
but that's why she's not, but that's why she's not where you are right now.
I understand that, but also he should still understand where the moment is now. You can have a plan for the future, but you should also understand where the East is right now, where your players are right now, where things are building in terms of what the right now is too. The future, it can be two different conversations. Yeah, we have a plan of what we want to do in the future, but we also see how damn good this team is right now and how open the East is right now. We're beating teams in the West, beating teams in the East, the good teams, the bad teams. We're competing night in and night out, showing that we belong in these discussions of the NBA. And all you talking about at the deadline is culture, the locker room fit. Bro, I'm not trying to hear that, bro.
Do you guys think because think about it, like the issues we're talking about right now were nowhere near as glaring as they are now as they were pre-All-Star break. We were running away with the East, bro. Like, I think it's a timing thing too. Like, we're starting to see these issues. We started to see them as we got close to the deadline. It didn't really happen at the beginning of the year. Like, game 9 of the season, we grabbed the first spot and never let it go. We were beating everybody with a lot of our guys not even playing. So I think a lot of it is the timing of it. Like, we're just now getting to a point where it's so glaring, where it's like, why didn't you? As opposed to the beginning of the season, we're sputtering like we did last year, and it's clear to everybody that you got to go do it. I think that's a big part of it too, is just the timing of when these things happen, because it hasn't been, we haven't felt this way all year. You know what I mean? It's just something we're just kind of feeling right now.
I think he just put his, like Clifton says here too, and I think we all expected this team to still at least stay strong in the areas they were strong in, but now their weaknesses are even more amplified because our weaknesses are distinct. But what Clifton says here is prior to the deadline, we were cooking. Right. After the Knicks game, everyone felt good. You're speaking as if this poor play was foreseeable. You never want to play. We never won a playoff series where it's still ahead of schedule. And it was foreseeable in terms of the offense because that was something we were dealing with.
For sure.
Yes.
But our defense was carrying us.
Yes.
And so now we just need our defense to get back, because if we, like you said, the expectations, of course, you want to go as far as possible. Every team does. But if we win a home game and we win a playoff series this year, I am thrilled from where we are. This has definitely humbled everybody, I think, this season, and then going after this too. But I would be more upset I would be more on your level, Eric, if this kind of stuff happened right at deadline. I think Trajan just gave his guys the benefit of the doubt because of the season that they had. And then, of course, it's all hindsight now of like, oh, but this person, like now that they're struggling here, these are even a bigger thing too. Like
Eric got his raw hollering.
I'm going back to the beginning of this conversation that Doug asked. Is this an expectation issue? That's what Doug said. And that's where the problems align. It's not even just about me and how I feel. And again, I don't think it's about fans in general either. When you hear, because again, Cade's not sitting here saying, we'll just get to the playoffs and we'll see where we go. He's talking about winning a championship. Not necessarily. They weren't saying that last year.
Look, bro, to be honest, you can't talk about winning a championship and you give up a 23-point lead to the Nets, dog. Like, you got to go out there and talking about JD. Like, you can't say stuff like that and then go do stuff like that. You can't.
I agree, but he's also been saying this after winning streaks as well. He wasn't just saying this when things are going bad. He's been talking about this, saying this team is good enough to do something special, bigger than other people expect us to do. So if that's the case, and again, going back to Doug's question about is this an expectation problem, I think it is when the players and the front office expectations are not aligning based on what they're telling us. I could be wrong, but I'm going off of what they're telling us. They've told us this. You said, Sarah, I'm taking words too literal. I'm a very very literal person. Women say men don't communicate well. I'm a very direct communicator. I pay attention to all words. And I feel like what he's telling us and the actions as well should be indicating something different. Again, especially knowing that the problems have been resonating all season long. It's not like they got injured and they just came up in January. This has been a problem all season long.
But here's the thing, E, and this is a good point that Clifton made. Cade said in the GQ article that he felt we're good enough as is. He said this team can do something. He said we got the dogs, we got the guys we need. So, and he's never in his time here has he ever said that before. This is what, year 5 for him? Cade has never had enough confidence to publicly say, we got what we need to go do something special. And he said that before the deadline passed. So obviously he has to feel confident enough that these guys, as constructed, despite the offense not being what it should be, defensively, when we lock in, we can beat anybody. So if he's saying that, I can't really look at Trajan and be like, oh, I got to make a move. When he publicly heard Cade just say, we think we good, because Cade doesn't talk a lot. He doesn't say a lot. Right. So when he does, you got to listen. So for him to say something like this is a big deal to me. So that's the fact that he has confidence. I'm just like, okay, then what do you, that's why I'm thinking like we're thinking this way because we're just now starting to show these signs as far as the win-loss comparison. But before that, we've been really balling out despite the fact that not having what we need offensively. And Cade is saying it. Cade, if he didn't feel that way, he'd be like, no, I think we made some strides from last year. We got a long window. He wouldn't be like, yeah, we're good. So to me, that signals that he has confidence in this team as constructed, at least for this season.
You can't give weight to Trajan's and words and not weight to Cade's words. If you're going to just take words at face value, then you have to take them all at face value.
I'm taking them all at face value. I'm also evaluating what's happening on the court and considering that these issues that we've seen, win or loss, the problems that have existed within this team have been an issue all season long. So even if Cade is pumping up the confidence within his team to say, I believe we can win it all with everybody, he's also said that in nights that they've only knocked down 2 3-point shots as well. So it's not like they were a perfect product, even with him saying that. They're now in a position where leagues are changing. The teams are getting better. Teams are scouting you differently. Dennis has film on him now. Teams are looking at how to defend you easier, Cade, even when you put up your numbers. They're taking away the lobs between him and Duren way more often now. These things are changing in front of you, and if you're still relying on the evaluation period, I don't think you're doing your job if that's what you're communicating to the public, because that's not what you should be doing.
I feel you, but it's just like we gotta be fair in the fact, like she's saying, like if we're not gonna take Cade's words seriously when it comes to how he feels about confidence in his roster, and we can't always take Trajan seriously. I'm not saying he's not serious. Well, I'm just saying that because you were saying like Trajan's not saying what you want to hear. That's why I was asking. Maybe there are conversations outside of what we hear that are actually taking place. Because if Cade is saying something and he doesn't really feel it, or he isn't really being completely forthright, then maybe Trajan isn't either. And he does have a plan, and he's talked to these guys, and they have a plan for this offseason. So it's just like we really don't know. If we're gonna look at one side, we gotta look at the other side. We won't know for sure, right? But all we're going off of is what we see and what we hear. Go ahead.
As a fan who loves this team and didn't want to see a big move, those words were more comforting to me. So he might just be appealing to a certain type of audience too. I'm glad that, when he said that, like I said, if he said we're not going to make a big trade, I was comforted by that. And there's other people that are, now that
I see it both ways. I honestly do see it both ways.
I'm fine with the big move not being there. I'm not even saying it needed to be a big move. just something to address the needs that were in front of you and still exist at this current moment. Because Kevin Huerter was not that. I'm not saying go get Trey Murphy. I'm not saying go get MPJ. If that wasn't on the table, cool. I know you are. But I'm saying do something about the problems that exist in front of you. And I just didn't see any kind of urgency to do that.
Okay. First of all, she don't need to be taught nothing, bro. Like, she here for a reason.
Yeah, Sarah gonna cuss me out after this, bro. Sarah gonna go crazy on me after this.
This is how we can talk to each other, and he all has valid points. This is all different perspective. Eric also, not only are we all fans, we all have different relationships with the team, and so it's just more. But yeah, don't be coming in here saying I need to be taught nothing, because I definitely don't.
Yeah. So, but like I said, I see both sides of it. It's just more so. It's hard because, and that's like to be fair. Last thing. What Trajan said at the beginning of the year is why I'm not tripping. He said the top of the year, this is an evaluation year. Whether right or wrong, that was the expectation that he said in my mind. Was that this is how we're gonna do it. So if he did anything different, I'm looking at him like, okay, what happened to what you said originally? I've never been the guy to change your plan because other people are changing their plan. I've never been that type of guy when it comes to making adjustments and stuff. Teams are making adjustments to us, because we're the top team in the East. That's why you saw the Pacers go and get Zubac. That's why you saw the Celtics go and get Vucevic. They're trying to get bigger because they see how we play. They can't stop us in the paint. They're trying to adjust to us. So why are we going to adjust to a team that's adjusting to us? We're just adjusting to ourselves for no reason. So that's why I'm like, and it's resulting in us being in the first place on top of what happened last year. So the trajectory is going this way. I know Casey in year 5, but Shea didn't win his first chip till year 6, year 7. So, like, I feel like we're right where we need to be when the Thunder were playing the Mavs and losing in the second round. I feel like that's where we are right now. In this offseason, you go and make another move to get your Caruso type of guy for Josh Giddey. You go and make that move that you need to get you over the top. That's why I'm saying if he doesn't do it then right. Based on what he said beginning of the season, now I got a problem. But right now, based on what he said top of the year, he's been consistent.
He's been a man of his word, that's for sure.
So, but I understand Eric not liking the consistency because Eric didn't like the plan from the beginning. So I
feel like you got to be able to update your resume. I feel like you can be comfortable with where you at. I don't think no team needs to sit in the number 1 spot to win a championship. Like, you can be comfortable with where you are, but if there's issues on your team, you should still want to be able to upgrade them as soon as possible. Like, so last thing, I don't know.
Last thing, you look at the teams who have made those upgrades because window is important, timing is important. The Knicks. They're an older team. Yep. The Celtics, they're getting older. The Cavs, they're getting older. They gotta go for it now.
Yeah.
When they get older, because our runway is so long. When they get older, guess who's still gonna be there? We should still be there. Nothing is guaranteed, but based off of what we've seen Trajan do with the cap flexibility and all these things, there's no reason we should not still be there in the next 2 to 3 years. When Jalen Brunson's probably not getting signed to an extension and they gotta blow it up. When James Harden is too old and they gotta blow it up. Who knows what's going to happen with JB and JT with the Celtics? How's that going to work out? So we're still going to be right there. The Pistons have always done it that way, bro. They've always had sustained windows of competition, not just 1 or 2 years because we want to speed the process up and maybe win one. So that's kind of where I'm at.
Assuming everything goes to plan, because you know what else was a part of plan that Trey just talked about last year and this offseason as well? Hey, Jaden Ivey's going to be back, and he's going to be one of our additional pieces that we were looking forward to having. And where's he at now? So things change. His career is completely derailed now. Things change that are unpredictable. And I feel like just waiting on this evaluation period can bite you in the ass. I feel like things can change. You should be able to update your resume and keep your team afloat, especially when, again, the conversation was about expectation. Expectations rise as you show to be better and competent with the competition in front of you. So I get it. Yes, they want to be around for the long haul for years to come. That's assuming everything is still working perfectly. And that can change in sports just like that.
It can. I just think he wants to give himself the flexibility and optionality to be able to adjust with the assets that he has. Because if you make moves now, you have no flexibility later.
That's fair.
So you gotta wait it out sometimes just to keep and sustain that flexibility. So if and when things do change, you can make those transitions way easier as opposed to pushing unnecessary chips now and now you can't later.
Hopefully.
You know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see. Go ahead, boss.
If this was a group that we were riding with for 3 years, 4 years, and we were winning like this is just like 1 year out from mean, 2 years out from the worst season ever. And I definitely, I see the points, but I would rather, a lot of these guys by deadline, most of them had met or exceeded expectations for their individual style of play. The team overall didn't. So it would just be really tough to go for that move now and give up some key pieces. And again, woulda, shoulda, coulda, and then see if that works when I think more guys that could fit in better with this team will become available later. And now it's just a little bit of that game of money and stuff, because there's contracts involved. There's a lot involved, but I do, but you're just, you're going off of, he said it's an evaluation year, but that's been okay with me. Like I'm okay with it being an evaluation year. So
okay.
I am too.
Yep.
I am too, man. I really am, because I don't know. I feel like when you kind of go off course and the moves are kind of hasty, you can't unsign somebody. Like you can't undo that move. Like you were saying, like things don't go according to plan. You go and add a guy and he gets hurt. Then what do you do? And now you got less wiggle room to make adjustments. Yeah. Nothing really hurts me right now with where we are, with how we played from last year to this year, to just wait and see what happens. I'm not afraid nobody in the East, bro. I don't care. Regardless of who's available and who's not. I don't want no bubble-esque championship as far as validation.
Only
I don't want where they were out where they I want everybody at their best if possible. It's not going, so yeah, I'm fine with where we are. I think we have one of the brightest futures out of all the teams in the Eastern Conference. And I think we kind of negate that and compromise that if we make a move prematurely. So I would have liked to see some kind of move if it didn't compromise anything. But that's the key. If there was a move available, it's still got to be a move available to go and get some guy. Just because everybody else made moves doesn't mean it's still easy for the Pistons to go make one. You know what I mean? And what do they compromise in the process? So that's kind of where I'm at. Like, I'm just gonna wait and see.
The only one I saw that I was like, why didn't we know that this guy was available and we could have gotten him for similar was Jared McCain. That was the only one, because the OKC.
Yeah, there are guys. Yeah,
that's another number one team.
But that was the only move that I didn't. That other than other moves, I was like, oh well, we didn't need that guy. Except like I like the Sumu, but he's more of a point guard. Like they were little guys, but like to come in right away. But who knows if they? I'm sure AJ made his move early too. That was. He made his move a little bit earlier before all that. That's why I was getting more mad at the Herder trade, because of who I saw did become available, but it is an availability thing for sure. And I definitely think we are going to get some moves. We are going to get, like, I think this will all be solved in the offseason. And
so we're definitely going to revisit this conversation in the offseason.
I want y'all to be right. I want y'all to be right more than I'm right in this discussion. I really want that to be the case. But
I just want them to be good. I could give an F who's right. Yeah. I just want it to work. I hear what you're saying, but I just want it to work out. I just want the plan that he has in place to be a good one, and for him to go ahead and execute it when it makes sense to him. Because I do trust what he's doing. I trust what he's doing. He's given me no reason up to this point, based off of the 14-win season, not to. So I'm gonna just let it play out. I'm gonna let it play out. But we'll revisit this, guys, in the off season. As we prepare for the regular season, we'll probably be here for the next hour, still continue to talk about this. But I mean, I want to keep going. Trust me, I want to keep going. But I also realize people gotta sleep. So we'll keep it pushing, guys. Let's move on now. If we
had a super chat.
Okay.
Doug again.
What up, Doug? Doug says, Sarah, ignore the haters. New York fans booed the doctor when they were born. I learned from your perspective every show. You and Deuce have chemistry. Thanks. Yeah, of course, man. Yeah, Boston, she wouldn't be here.
You're not gonna come in here and tell me that I don't know as much as them. And yesterday, people were calling me Lil Becky. You're not gonna do that either.
Yeah, I didn't peep that yesterday.
They called you that?
I didn't peep it till later.
Oh, hell no.
Y'all in here calling me Lil Becky. So you guys, just keep it respectful towards me and my gender and everything. Respect us all the same. That's all we ask.
Y'all got to deal with me too. We don't play that.
Yeah, nah, facts. That's a big fact. That's more important than anything. So y'all chill on that. All right, guys, let's keep it pushing, man. Let's go to JD. Try to refocus here and shift the conversation back to these guys.
Right, there was a basketball game. So.
Bro, they actually played tonight. All right, let's check it out. So tonight, guys, JD finished with 24 points on 10 for 12 shooting, 4 or 5 from the free throw line, 5 boards, 1 assist, and a turnover, and a block in 26 minutes. So whoever wants to jump in, I forgot who lit off last time. Whoever wants to get in there first, y'all go ahead and do your thing.
I don't have a lot to say. I mean, obviously 24 points is great. 10 of 12 is great. Bam Adebayo didn't record a foul until the end of the fourth, which tells me that JD wasn't being aggressive enough at certain times. At least running over Bam, I would say. Bam did not get a foul call.
10 for 12?
He did great. Yes, he did great there, but like I would say mostly early on, just like everybody else, just kind of a little bit. And then the boards, no, 5 boards is not enough from you, JD. Nope. Ron Holland had 7 and Paul Reed had 4 in 5 minutes.
In like 5 minutes, yeah.
Maybe instead of being aggressive on offense, more aggressive on defense. Make Bam Adebayo get a loose ball foul on you. Go for the ball. Use your body. Go get it. So that's
okay. All right. E, what you got, bro?
Yeah, the offensive numbers are fine, but the defense is what bothers me the most. Bam shouldn't even be able to attempt 10 3-pointers. I'm not cool with that at all. Like, he shouldn't even be able to get those looks off. And a lot of those looks were from Davion Mitchell. It didn't even seem like he was like on some SGA stuff where he was just lightning blowing by somebody. JD is sagging over way too far, and his recovery speed is not quick enough to be able to collapse on the shooter. That's the biggest problem that he has on defense. His rim protection is one thing, but we've been talking about it basically his entire existence here and how he defends shooters when he has to play against them. And, going against a guy like Wemby who can put the ball on the ground, a guy like Bam who can shoot and play outside, they give him problems, especially veterans or guys that may be a little bit more talented than he is. So yeah, I had a big problem with how he played today defensively. I feel like he was out of position a lot. I feel like he still looked great. Y'all know how I feel about the offense. Like, yes, I like him at his best when he's cleaning up the glass, not when he's playing ISO ball, dribbling 5 times like Karis LeVert, trying to blow by somebody. I'm not a fan of that at all. I feel like he needs to be a little bit more dialed in with how he gets his shots. I'm also kind of discouraged by the jumpers he's taking. Like, granted, I'm not mad at them, but they're not going in, which is surprising. Like, I'm surprised he's been as cold with his jump shooting as he has been. So, yeah, the numbers look a little bit better than how he actually played in terms of offense. Defensively, though, I was really discouraged.
So I agree with those points. I'm gonna play devil's advocate again, just because I don't know why I'm feeling like that tonight. But
we're gonna talk about the loss.
He and Cade. I mean, he was responsible for 25% of the points in this game offensively. So I want to acknowledge that. I'm sure he was giving a lot of energy on that end because he had to. Like, if he doesn't do what he does, the Pistons don't score 80 points. That and they still don't win. So. But to be fair, it's got to start on the defensive side. I just felt like they asked him to do more offensively because they just weren't getting it anywhere else outside of Cade and Paul Reed and Stu late. But as far as the threes, I agree. But here's where I think it's important, and I talked about it earlier. Ausar Thompson's on-ball defense, bro. Mm-hmm. They were able to get to the lane whenever, however, against whoever they wanted. So it's like JD found himself trying to hedge every single time defensively because they weren't able to keep anybody out of the lane. So it's like Bam just made him pay. That's why I think we didn't see it last game because the Nets don't have a stretch guys who can really shoot the ball. I think Daron can shot a little bit, but Bam Adebayo is much improved from 3. And I just feel like every time I was watching because I was like, why is Bam open every time? Then I'm watching the on-ball defense and everybody is getting to the hoop. It wasn't just Tyler Hero. It was Davion Mitchell. It was everybody. Myron Gardner at times. Like, how is Myron Gardner getting to the hoop, bro? What in the world? So just to give JD some grace, the reason he was leaving Bam open was because he had to hedge and try to protect the rim because the defense was getting broken down every single time when they had the ball. Like, that's ridiculous. So that, once again, Ausar Thompson was missed because he keeps guys out of that painted area. And when that happens, JD can stay home more often. So that was glaring to me, like, because I'm like, why is he leaving him? Oh, I know why. He has to come over and help every single time because they keep getting 2 feet in the paint. So that was what I saw. He has to be better, but I didn't really see that as a major problem because of the domino effect that was caused by him having to slide over so often.
Yeah, and I completely agree with that too. I also just want to go to Eric's points about his jump shots. Lately, they've just been feeling kind of out of rhythm for him. Like, he's felt like that's his only option.
For sure.
When before his jump shots were sinking because that was kind of his plan and his goal. He would, attack, spin away, nail it, and now it just seems like he couldn't get into the paint close enough, so he would just force them up. So I think that's just another sort of mental hurdle right now. But I do agree, and this is also an argument for why we've been talking about Stu and Duren, because if they're together, and you have Stu at the rim, you could honestly either of them. Obviously, Stu is a much better rim protector than JD, but Stu I think moves his feet a little better on the perimeter stay in front of guys.
Yep.
So if you had a 2 big lineup, then you could stay out on Bam Adebayo, and if he gets past you, then you have someone to meet him. But that's what Asar did for us. So it's just another argument of why, especially now that we're out of Sar and we don't know how much. Like, I was just at the game where Murray hurt his ankle pretty bad and he's day to day. That's what they've listed him as, but that could mean the Nuggets are a little bit more like it's day to day, but that could mean 3 weeks. You don't know. With the Pistons, and we're like, we don't know, so we're not going to speculate.
True.
But without Asar, you have to. This isn't like a temporary fix for the starting lineup. Now you have to evaluate, like, okay, what can we actually like? Sass feels temporary. And if Asar's going to be out for a while, then you need to reevaluate, okay, well, then maybe it is time for Stu and JD and look at what B-Ball's been doing so B-Ball can come in and help rotate. And worst case, we go a little bit smaller for a few minutes, but then we can get another guy in immediately. Like maybe there's one big on the floor for a couple minutes a quarter, but otherwise there's 2. So especially since we're missing that perimeter, if it's not going to be Ron or even Wu who can stay in front of his guy, then it needs to be the 2 big, because both those guys, I trust them at both spots. It's just hard for either one of them to do both. Like if Bam is shooting threes, you have to basically guess. If you're against, you have to guess, is Bam going to shoot a 3? Should I go up on him? But then if he gets past me, there's no help.
That's what I'm saying.
So like
that's why Asar was so important. That was the whole point.
And now Asar,
it's the domino effect.
And if it's not Ron, but that's just more so of the big shooting. Because if it's a guard or anybody, you would trust a Ron, a Wu, you would trust other guys. When you have a big guy like Bam that can shoot 3s, when we go against people like Chet, when we go against Evan Mobley, like when we go against those guys, then you should have 2 bigs on the floor, because those bigs, if they get around you, they have a straight line to the basket because they're bigger than everyone else.
Right, right, exactly. And as far as the 5 boards, that's not good enough for sure. But however, when you got Bam pulling you out there every single time, you're gonna. That's when you need somebody like Tobias to have 5, 6, 7 rebounds.
Doing better.
But once again, he's just not big enough, which is why I want to see Isaiah Stewart start. That's the whole point, man. So I'm not gonna kill him for the 5 boards. He needs to have, even if he I feel like he should have 4 or 5 offensive rebounds for sure. But I'm not gonna say he should have 10, 11, 12 in this game, because he was getting pulled out every single time. Every single time he was getting pulled out there. So I don't know. They got adjustments to make for sure. JD could have played better, but I do think it was circumstantial in some areas in this game. Offensively, because they needed his offense, and then defensively, because there was just no resistance on the perimeter, and he had to do a lot more defensively. He's trying to guard 2 guys, and that's just a lot to ask. So
yeah, agreed.
I'll leave it there. Anything else on that, y'all?
No, I just like now, Tuesday we have the Nets again, which we should have never lost that lead, but I want to see him run them over. He should be getting a 30-20 game.
I agree. No Day'Ron. I don't want to hear Day'Ron Sharp every other play, bro.
Right.
Yeah,
like we did last night.
And Day'Ron Sharp is in with Stu. So you got Nick Claxton who can block. So if you attack the ball and you get blocked by Nick Claxton twice a game, fine. But attack him every time, run him over, beat him off the dribble, block him, he can do it. He can do it. Because yesterday yesterday was 17 and 14, which is a beautiful stat line. If you watched him, like if you didn't watch him, you'd be like, okay, a good double. But if you watch him, you'd be like, but you could double that. It feels like you could almost double that production. It was almost just like the lazy way out was 17-14 against the Nets sort of stuff. So that's what I want to see from him. It's like, because he's just another driver in this. Like I've said, when we're on, when we win and we're playing our style, everybody eats. And when we lose like this, everybody's off. So JD is definitely, his energy has a huge impact on that starting lineup, especially.
Yeah. So. Yeah. All right. We'll leave it there, guys. Anything else, E? You good?
No, we cool.
Okay, for sure. Guys, let's hit some reserves, and then we can keep it pushing. Let's start with Dana Shinkins, guys, tonight. Dana Shinkins had 4 points on 1 for 4 shooting, 1 or 2 from 3, 1 or 2 from the free throw line, 4 boards, 2 assists, a turnover in only 15 minutes. I'll come to you first, E. What'd you see tonight from Dana Shinkins?
I've been underwhelmed with Dennis, man. I'm kind of confused with what he's been doing. Like, his burst as a point, I think, speaks for itself. He's very shifty, very quick. I think you can make the argument that teams have prepared for him, but I still think it seems like he's kind of overplaying and maybe overthinking on the court a little bit. Like, go to the hoop, be confident, be who you are. I feel like he's trying to maybe do too much. Seems like maybe sometimes he gets a little confused on when to play make, when to go for a shot. I feel like a lot of times when he's taking some shots, it's been when the clock is like winding down instead of just being aggressive and blowing past the defenders that's in front of you, because it's not a lot of guys that can stick in front of him. So yeah, I've been kind of discouraged with how he's been playing. He made enough of an argument to show that he can be the backup point for this team on a consistent basis, and this kind of stat line is not going to do enough, man. Like, you can't have the hustle man numbers of, just, oh, hey, I worked hard. Nah, bro. You got to be able to show that you can score, get everybody involved to, play in the right blends in terms of the rotations. And maybe that needs to be a JB thing too as well, because I feel like he's still not very consistent with who he's playing together and when they're coming on the floor as well. I think that maybe can interrupt some of the flow or their the rhythm when they come onto the floor. So yeah, I'm unfortunately wasn't really wooed with what he did today. But I think he can pick it up by the end of the year. I'm not worried about it.
I missed the 2 blocks, so he had 2 blocks. My bad. But go ahead. Go ahead,
one on Tyler. I like the
right. Yeah.
It just seems like he is just a little bit out of rhythm, and like he has been able to jump in with any lineup, and that's what I said early in the podcast. Is it just feels like what we succeeded with early this season, with just throwing in random people, relying on our bench during some injuries, was almost the outlier. But hopefully this is the outlier where now they're coming and they're all a little bit chaotic, all a little bit out of sync. Danis, I can't put it all on him because the chemistry has just been off regardless. Even when Kate's there, the chemistry is just off. So I think that's tough for him. But I do think it is a little bit of a mental game. He's trying to make the right decisions. But I don't want to see 1 of 4 from a couple 4 shots. I want to see you confidently pull up by your 3 that we know you can hit. I want to see you confidently dribble in and pull the mid range. I want to see you. There were a couple times that he dribbled in. And I was like, oh, he's just going to pull back for his little jumper fadeaway shot. And then he would give it up and it would result in just more bad ball movement, stuff like that. But I think it is just a little bit of a confidence thing. Last night he missed 2 free throws, which is unlike him. So he's been a little bit out of sync and character. And then with the team also just being out of sync, I don't think it's helped. And you can tell he's frustrated by it. But I do want to see him be your own great. He was very good with. We compared him to Cade because Cade made Cade continues to make the right decisions of whether to find his shot or whether to find someone else their shot. And now Danis is kind of stuck in that limbo. And if he doesn't find someone else their shot right away, it's almost like he forces a shot that we know he can't. He needs to go in a little bit more okay, no, I got this. I look at his match and be like, oh, this one's mine. Look who switches on him. Oh, this one's mine. Or let me run this play. I think he just needs a little bit more of because he can do both. We've seen him excel at assisting, we see him excel at scoring, and we see him do both of those in the same game. So now I think it is just a little bit mental. And I'm with Eric too. I think that he will get back to his form, just like I believe this whole team will. I truly do. Before this gets really ugly. But it's the sooner the better, because Jenkins has been someone that we can rely on, just like our other bench guys, to come in and help with scoring, whether that's by playmaking or shooting himself.
Well, that's the thing. I feel like when he was playing very well, he was doing a great job of balancing both, just being that dual guard, a point guard who has the ability to score. But for me, it's always the facilitating first. You have 2 point guards, Cade and Danis Jenkins. He had one game this year where he had 15 assists, which is tied for the most in the franchise's history, right? He had, we have 2 tonight, right? He had 9 yesterday.
Yeah.
He had 9 assists yesterday and only three turnovers. So he's not playing up to the standard, but he's not playing terrible either. I'm not going to say that either. He has to be better, but it ain't like Danis Jenkins was the reason we lost tonight, nothing like that. He's got to be better. He has to be more decisive, I think, more than anything. Just be more decisive. He is trying to push the ball. I'm noticing he and K both, they try to push the ball. And he made some really nice reads tonight and really nice passes. The guys just didn't convert on.
Exactly.
Javonte Green had a couple threes that he missed. Nice dime from Danis Jenkins. Ron Holland had a nice one that he could have finished. Nice pass from Danis Jenkins. So he should have had 4 or 5 assists in this game. He just couldn't get those guys to convert. So the 4 boards, I like. The only 1 turnover, I like. It ain't like he's just a turnover machine, turning the ball over. We just need him to give us a little bit more. But it's not even just him. The whole team as a whole needs to give us a little bit more. So I just think he and the team as a whole just needs to figure it out. But it ain't like Dennis Jenkins is just trash right now. He's playing terrible right now. We just got to see a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
That's where I'm at.
And that, I feel the same, especially I said that earlier about Cade, is that I think Cade would have even recorded more than 10 assists if some of the baskets were just going in. I mean, for Herter to have 4 assists is kind of a big, that just also shows that like just certain people just weren't hitting their baskets. That was just a trend throughout tonight's game, but that's all I have to say for Danis. And then I think Eric has to go write his wonderful article about another loss.
Hey, I did 28 straight with Monty Williams. I think I can crank out number 4. I'll be all right.
Perspective is a beautiful thing when used properly.
It's hard, bro.
I know.
It's not easy.
I know it, man. I know it, but it's a good position to be in. So we know you got to go, bro. We appreciate you, hopping on with us.
Of course.
You always welcome him. You always got to see the table here for sure. Let everybody know, for anybody who is not plugged in to you up to this point, how we can stay in contact with you and keep up what you're doing, bro.
Love you all, man. Thank y'all for having me. It's always a pleasure. You can lock in with me on my social media, you guys, at I am Eric Vincent. I stream all the away games on liveonassist.com. You can also watch it with me on my YouTube page. It's Top Title Detroit. And all my write-ups are on clutchpoints.com, where I get my quotes, do my write-ups and recaps of the game, any breaking news. It's all on Clutch Points. You guys can check it out there. I think that's just about everything. I appreciate the time, man. It's always a good time with y'all, for real.
Hey, man, don't pop a blood vessel tonight, bro.
Too late.
We're going to need you for the rest of the season, man.
Brad Holmes going to do something stupid tomorrow and drive me over the edge. So this is a light day. This is a light day. Appreciate y'all, man.
We appreciate you, bro. You
Peace.
too, bro. We'll tap it soon, man.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Had to bring our dog on, man. Whenever something like this happens, we got to kind of come together and have these conversations. So glad we got a chance to have him come on and give his perspective as always, boss.
Yeah. And you guys all know that obviously we all have different views and opinions and looking at things. And he is in the media room with the guys, so he hears more things and it's a little bit more person, but we just all talk it through. There's nothing but
these are the conversations we always have. Right?
Exactly.
So
I did want to address this one real quick. The elephant in the room is he isn't playing the same since he got paid. Yes, but since deadline, no one has. The team has been the entire team. So I do, that's easy to point to, but you can't really point to anyone except Cade, honestly, in consistency. But even Cade's not playing his best in terms of the season, but that's also because the team isn't playing their best, and he's definitely a facilitator. Like, you put Cade on a bad team and he'll have these numbers. You put Luke on a bad team and he'll shoot 50 because that's what he knows how to do. And here Cade just wants to eat and let others eat as well. So I think that, it's fair. It's not wrong, but in the grand scheme of things, if he came on and if we were playing our level of basketball that we have been attuned to this year and accustomed to, if we were playing there and then Danis came on and we started going, just like some of you guys at Levert, if he came on and we were just like, oh no, Danis is on, like this is where it starts to go downhill because he's been good since we signed him. That would be a story. But it's definitely, I think it's a combination of just everyone the chemistry just being a little off. So
yeah, and then too, like it's not like next season, guys, like his contract is through next year. But next season is a team option. We always say that. So if he doesn't play up to standard the rest of this season, he's not guaranteed next year. So it ain't like he can just sit around this year, the rest of this year and next year. I'm guaranteed. No, he's still got to perform. He's got a guaranteed contract through this season for sure. And maybe next season if he plays well enough for them to warrant that. But the team option means if they don't think he won't be here next year. So you can't just say, well, he got paid. It's only for the rest of this year. Yeah. Unless he plays up to standard. So he needs to continue to play that way. And so that whole narrative is easy. It's just an easy, lazy narrative to throw out there. But it doesn't really.
It's not wrong. But
I'm not saying him. I'm just saying in general. A lot of people have said his number since he got paid. Is this a coincidence? he got his money now. He don't care no more. He was just trying to get to the finish line and get an NBA contract. Like, no, bro.
Yeah.
No.
And if you know Danis, like this has been his goal for being in the G League. It's something we watched him. I have an interview saved on my phone of him talking about how he's just going to be to the NBA. And like Kevin says here, Danis is not the type of guy to chill because he got paid. He's a competitor. Exactly that. And I don't think I think it's almost the opposite. I think it's almost what a lot of these young players are feeling right now, which is pressure. And it's when it's that whole thing of like, my team isn't doing great. Now I'm on the floor. What do I do? And while these guys can all handle it, I genuinely think they all are great decision makers. They all are very talented. When your whole team is a little bit in a slump like that and a little disconnected, then you don't know what to do either. Danis doesn't, he's not going to go out there and shoot the lights out and record no assists. Like he's going to try to, even if he thinks, he might just be second guessing some decisions right now to get other guys involved and as well as him. So it's more of a team thing. And I do think that Danis, once they, he starts feeling himself a little more once the team bounces back, which they will. I know it seems, especially with this 4-game losing streak, you're like, worst case scenario is that they just completely fall off this last part of the season and we drop a couple spaces and we make it to the playoffs not as strong as we thought we would. But I don't see that happening. I really don't. And I know it's easy to go there because we've seen 4 games of it in a row, which is something we haven't seen since last season, the first 4 games of the season. And so it's tough because we've gotten kind of used to this team bouncing back and they haven't yet.
We got spoiled this year. I'm not gonna lie.
Exactly. So, but I do think that he'll find his rhythm again soon. And it's an optimistic view. It's a little bit of a copium of a cop out. But while this timing sucks in terms of trying to amp ourselves up for the playoffs, I would be even more frustrated with this if it was the last 3 weeks of the preseason. Like, we need to turn it around. We still have time to turn it around. It starts to get worrisome when we don't have time to turn it around and we have to go into the playoffs a little shaky, but we still have 20 games left, right? How many? 19, 17?
I think it's 19. I think we're 48 and 45 and 18. Yeah.
We still have
19.
So 19 games left. We could, who knows if we could honestly, guys, knowing what this team can do, I wouldn't be surprised if we went on a 19-game win streak. I'd only be surprised because of the way we're playing right now. But they can do it. So at least this isn't happening in the last 12 games, it's happening now and it needs to end. We're all on the same page. It needs to end. It needs to freaking end on Tuesday. Big.
Yeah. I agree.
Largely.
Yeah. No, it has to.
But if any of these guys can get back their rhythm in the next couple of games, then it's game over for the East again, in my opinion.
For sure. So that's why I'm not panicking yet. This is the first adversity we've had all year.
Like I said, I'll cry on stream on Tuesday if we lose.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. We didn't think we'd be here after last night, right? Which is crazy to say, but
I did.
As far as losing the Nets game, we didn't think they're gonna lose the Nets game.
True. Yes, exactly. That one I did think
so we'll see how it plays out. We'll see. All right, guys, let's keep pushing, man. Let's go to who's next, boss? Let's go to Kevin Huerter. What is that, Velvet? Guys, tonight Kevin Huerter finished with 4 points on 2 for 7 shooting, all 4 from 3. 4 boards, 4 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks for 3 stocks in 22 minutes. So as we're going through these stat lines, it's not just one guy. A lot of guys struggled tonight, man. A lot of guys have been struggling. That's why we're not isolating and just putting everything on one guy. Because when the team is playing great, they're all playing great for the most part. When they're not, they're all playing bad for the most part, which is why they lost 4 straight. So we're not going to go at one individual guy and say, that's why. Nah, it's look at the stat line. Listen to the numbers we're rattling off. A lot of these stat lines are not pretty. And with the eye test, it wasn't pretty either.
It's easier tonight without LeVert playing, honestly. I see nobody in here being like,
right.
This was definitely
anybody crashing out.
Game. Usually every 5 seconds we see it'll be like LeVert needs to go. Guys, we can lose without LeVert too.
I know you're loving that. All right, let's talk about it. What'd you see
I
from
don't
him?
love it, obviously, because he has been very mid for us. Top tier on defense, hasn't done offensive. But anyways, Herter, okay. This was his moment. We called upon him. Kevin Herter, you're getting more minutes. JB said it last night. Kevin Herter, you're getting more minutes. He came in and immediately drove to the basket and got a nice little finger roll. I loved it. He got 2 blocks and a steal. I love that. 4 assists. Love it.
Yep.
0 of 4.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I think it's, we were excited that he hit a 3 yesterday, but he had a couple possessions in a row that he pulled up and it just didn't go. And it's just, and when but it's just like the same with Duncan. Like Herter was brought in and we know that he's been in a 3 slump, but you are our 3-point shooter. So we need at least one to go in. And he is great at spacing. I don't think he harms spacing. I don't think he harms defense. I don't think he harms much out there, except that you're out there to help us score. Just like when I saw Woo's first possession out there, he was shooting threes. Like, we're not supposed to be relying on Javonte Green on offense. We're supposed to let him do his thing on defense and it carry over. Yeah. And now you're out there and you're purposely trying to get Javonte Green threes because you have no other option when you have guys like Duncan and Herter, and that's supposed to be their job. So I'm not mad at what I saw from Herter overall. I do think that a lot works. It's a lot better than that we could have predicted. I don't think that he was harmful to the team tonight, especially in a very tough loss where everyone struggled. Like I said, 3 stocks is incredible, but you got to hit a 3 or you at least got to be better than 2 of 7 from the field for me. He had no turnovers, no fouls. All 4 rebounds were defensive. So if this was a win, there would be very little I could be mad at him about for getting first consistent minutes on the team tonight. But just the fact that it was a night that we were like, this is your time. Here you go.
Yeah.
It done.
He's going to get more opportunities because a left wrist sprain, he's going to get some more opportunities to show up.
And he hasn't been a part of this team with the offensive woes. Like, he hasn't been a part of that. So being brought in, it's just like, this could really help us, especially like yesterday when he was hitting a 3 and stuff and getting more shots. So now it's just like, don't play down to us, Herter. Don't play down to
bring up the
our
rear.
offense. Play your offense and get it done. But it is, even though he went 0 of 4, he had the 3rd most attempts on threes. Cade had 6 of 9. Duncan had 1 of 7, and he had 0 of 4. And that's what you should be doing as a 3-point shooter, is at least attempting. So I'll give him that, because if he was 0 of 2, I would have been like, okay.
True.
And they were pretty open and they weren't forced. So
yeah, 1 for 11 from Duncan and Herter ain't gonna cut it.
Exactly. That's
just not gonna get it done. And his shot, I'm gonna give him a little bit of time to get some consistency. But exactly. But it is kind of a carousel versatile line. But he just got here. Got to be fair. He just got here. 0 for 4. Listen, 0 for 4 is not gonna get it done. I like that he's shooting them, but some of the looks, like some of the shots, just you can tell right away it's not going. You can just tell right away it's just offline. It's not really coming up short. It's just offline. So I don't know, guys. I don't know if the three ball is gonna be a thing for him. It could be if he's given more reps and more time. Not gonna rush the boat on him. But I go back to that last comment because I'm kind of I won't say I'm with Jamoke on this, but I will say this. I still think Duncan should start for sure. He should still be starting over Herter.
You want Herter over LeVert?
I want to see Herter over LeVert. Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. But no, he's saying he wants to see Herter over Duncan.
I know. I just thought that's what you were gonna say next. It's like
no. I was just gonna say that there are some things that Herter can do a little bit better than Duncan, even though they are similar. I was watching tonight, so with Herter, this is what I saw, because the difference between Herter and Duncan, from what I can see, is that when he catches the ball out of the K double, you gotta respect his shot, which you also have to do with Duncan. But Herter has more burst off the dribble. He's got more athleticism when he puts the ball on the floor. So it's harder when you close out to stay in front. He's more athletic. So he's not the shooter that Duncan is, but he's more athletic when you close out too hard. putting the ball on the floor and being able to get to the rim, being able to go and lay it up, being able to go with the little midi. So it's a trade-off. I'm not saying you should start him over, but I am noticing that he does have more ability to be able to do that because he's just simply more athletic, north and south.
I think that they both give good effort. I wouldn't call him more athletic, but I would call him stronger.
I think he's more athletic. He's quicker.
Really?
Yeah, because Duncan's foot gets stuck in the ground. Watch him defensively. That's how you can see it.
Okay, defensively. But offensively, like I still think that Duncan, he's a little bit, I think a little bit quicker on his feet. But Herter, I do. On offense, I think Duncan's a little quicker, but Herter can get it done because he's willing to drive into someone's body, which we don't see a lot from Duncan. He's willing to take that contact.
So let's just watch the next couple of games. We can you and I can both watch it and just kind of compare and see, because I'm just noticing from what I've seen.
Duncan's off-ball movement reminds me of Rip a little bit.
Yeah, I don't really mean the off-ball. I mean when he's got the ball in his hands, when the double team comes and he catches it off the double team and they try to rotate over to him. I'm seeing him get by his guy a lot easier than what Duncan. I've seen guys kind of recover with Duncan and be able to get back in front, but with Herter, I'm not seeing it quite as much.
Yeah, I think with Herter, I think it's just more of a strength thing. He's bigger.
Is he?
Yeah, he looks bigger.
I'll look up the stats,
but on the court, he looks bigger because of those moves and decisions that you were just talking about.
Do you mean like taller, or do you mean like just wider?
Stronger.
Okay.
All right. They're both
we'll keep an eye on it.
Boys, but like Duncan looks like he's drowning in his jersey, kind of thing. Like Rip did. Like they just look like
extra skinny.
Yeah. That's how it feels to me. So I think Duncan, especially coming off of a 3, coming on the perimeter, he has a little bit of a jump, a little bit of a quicker step. But Herter, especially when driving and getting to the rim, he can outmove a guy at the same time. But it's more of a size thing. Yeah.
We'll keep an eye on it. We'll see. Y'all let us know what y'all think too. But that was one of the things I noticed with him is that he is able to get by his guy. He is able to he just seems a little bit more shifty. But we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it. But it's funny because Kevin said it sounds like J.I., bro, as far as being able to put the ball on the floor out of a double team. Yeah, I agree. Listen, basketball-wise, y'all know how I feel about J.I. Y'all already know. It is disappointing to not be able to see an immediate return right away when you move somebody like that of that caliber. So that is frustrating. I'm still, I'm holding out hope because of what that may turn into in the off season. But in the interim, it hurts. I ain't gonna lie, it hurts. It definitely hurts, and you definitely see it. Even though J.I. wasn't peak J.I. this year, even with him being at 65, 70, 75%, he still was giving us something every night, boss. He was still giving us something every night consistently. He was still knocking down shots consistently. He was still keeping the defense more honest consistently. So I feel you on that.
Herter is an inch shorter and about 20 pounds less than Duncan Robinson.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Maybe they just have maybe Duncan just sizes up on his jersey out there and he looks a little bit more. Doesn't it seem like the air blows, like the wind blows through his jersey though? And Herter's a little.
I don't really. It's hard to tell for me because they got him tucked in. So I don't know. I don't really see that. I don't really see that. But I always thought Herter was just a little bit small, a mini version of Dunk. Because Dunk is a big guy. He's tall. He's like 6'7". I think Herter's like 6'5", 6'6".
He's 6'7" and Herter's 6'6". Duncan's listed at 216, which I'm honestly like, are you, Dunk? But and Herter's listed at 198. But Herter seems he just has broader shoulders or something. Like he just seems.
Yeah, I mean you got the lower part of the torso. You never know as far as how they're built.
Yeah,
with the legs and things like that, it could play into it too. But yeah. So we'll see. I don't know. Herter's okay. He's okay. I'm gonna give him a little bit more rope, just because he hasn't really played a ton with these guys. So if he's able to give us what he gave us outside of shooting and then some shooting, he'll be the backup shooting guard this year. If he can consistently knock down three threes a game off the bench, 2, 3 threes off the game, and he still gives us the stocks and the assists and the solid defense, yeah, he'll be the backup too.
Yeah.
And he should be. So we'll see if he's able to do that. So, All right, guys, we'll leave it there on Kevin Herter. We got a lot of guys to get to. Let's go to Ron Holland first, boss. Ron Holland, guys, in this game finished with 5 points on 2 for 6 shooting, 0 of 2 from 3, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 7 rebounds, 1 turnover, a steal, and a block in 19 minutes. What did you see from Ron?
Yeah, I mean, I saw hustle man Ron out there. He only had 1 foul. He had a turnover. Did great on both boards, 3 offensive, 4 defensive. That was probably the best split because who had the next most? He had the most rebounds tonight with 7. That's crazy. I know.
He had the most?
Yes, he had the most rebounds for
Yeesh.
us.
Wow.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So that looked fantastic. 2 of 6. Of course, you like to see him at least 3 of 6. 0 of 2 from 3. Not mad at it because he took them when he was open. And 1 of 2 free. Like nothing that I'm upset about. I think the defense was just. We just couldn't defend the Heat tonight. Everything was just disconnected and nothing of it. But he did record a steal and a block, so I'll take that. I mean, this is usually he gets at least, I would say, closer to 8 to 10 points a game. So they shut him down a little bit offensively, but it wasn't like he was taking wild, crazy shots. 2 of 6 also isn't like terrible.
Right.
This would be an okay stat on any other night, but it's just the fact that there's like nobody that we really needed to step up was able to. I'm not saying that Ron did a bad, like that's his fault or anything. It was just that kind of night where we just didn't have anybody take the load off of Cade and Duran. But Ron definitely tried and to record 7 rebounds, especially last night. I think he only had 1 or none. And we just talked about how rebounding has been an emphasis. So it sounds like maybe, he was maybe more aware of that and went in and got the job done there. So
Yep.
Yeah. And he did have an air ball 3, and I'm telling you, he needs the glass right now, which I'm cool with.
Yeah.
The corner threes, and I know that's where he's most open, but I trust his top of the perimeter keys a lot, or top of the perimeter threes a lot better right now.
Yeah. Ron doesn't usually play well if we only have 6 fast break points.
True.
Because he's not a half court player right now. He's not an offensive package type of guy. So Ron needs to get out in transition. Ron needs guys on the floor with him who are able to help him get stops and get out and run. He's a great finisher. We talked about all year, even since last year, how great of a finisher he is through traffic and things like that. He can still get it done at times in the half court, cutting off ball movement, but he's best in the full court, end to end, defense to offense, being able to get out and run, use that athleticism. And when we're not doing that, when we're stuck in the half court, because we just keep trading baskets and taking the all out of the hoop and got to run a set, and he's not going to play well. He's not a guy you can just throw the ball to and say, give me a bucket. Right? If he's not going to the hoop and trying to draw fouls or trying to score that way, he's not going to be able to consistently generate offense for us. And that's fine. Yeah. That's fine. He's just not there yet. But you can't blame him because the game script didn't fit his style of play at all. Right. I blame that on the defense, right? And not just him, but the whole team collectively. They were taking the ball out of the hoop all night. So it's a lot to ask for Ron to be effective when that's not his game. The shooting is a shooting. We understand that. But there's plenty of games when he doesn't take 1 3, and he has a great game because he was helping us get out in transition. We were getting stops, and he's gotten the belt at times when he hasn't shot the ball great. Right. So it's like, it's not about the shooting. It's about, are we playing who we are or not? And that's what it comes down to. And we didn't do that tonight. And as a result, his game was impacted.
It just basically felt like they shut down the paint because he is a guy who drives to the paint. And I just know some people in here, like, he needs a handle. He has room to grow. Like, yeah, he does have room to grow. But, like, usually you can, like I said, you can rely on him for at least 8 to 10 points because he can find his way to the rim. And he wasn't able to do that tonight, like a lot of these guys. I mean, even like JD went 10 for 12 because he was there at the rim ready for that. He had a couple of good lobs from Cade. Yeah. Stu went 6 or 11, so I'll give them that. But like some of our guards that cut to the rim often, including Cade, weren't able to get there. And so they really shut it down to the big guys were the only ones that were able to get it done if they were already in position, basically. I will be right back. Sorry.
All right. Let's check this poll real quick, y'all. And I'm actually going to put up a new one soon, too. Let's just check the update on this. Reason for loss. 34% says soft defense. 29% says no second option. 20% says slow start. And 18% says slow shooting. So let's check some of these comments and see what you guys thought. Ron Holland is shading sharp without a jumper. Yeah, there's some similarities there. Some similarities. I think Ron's game is Ron's a much better defender for sure. Shaden Sharp don't really play no defense. From what I've seen, he does not play defense. Jamoke says Ron will be better than Nassar in 2 years. I mean, it's anything's possible. But once again, guys, you saw, and listen, y'all know how hard I've been on Ryan or on Asar Thompson this year, as far as him needing to improve his shooting, improve his handle, which he has. Just his whole offensive, not bag, but just his approach offensively needs to kind of improve, even as far as the mental aspect of it. But once again, man, we saw how important Asar was in this game. In so many different areas, how it affected Ron, for example, because they couldn't get out and run. How it affected JD because nobody could stay in front of anybody, and JD had to come help. Like you saw across the board how Asar's absence affected everybody else. So I don't know about that, bro. I mean, anything's possible. I'm sure Ron's gonna get better, but I'm not even trying to have a conversation about who's better right now because I just want those guys both available and just to improve the jump shot. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see. But boss, let's keep it pushing. Let's go to Isaiah Stewart in this game. Guys, Isaiah Stewart tonight finished with 14 points on 6 for 11 shooting, 1 or 2 from 3, 1 or 2 from the free throw line, 6 boards, 1 assist, 2 turnovers, and 1 block in 22 minutes. Boss, Dog Pound Senior, what'd you see?
Yeah, Stu's still kind of getting back in his form, I think. Since being gone just a little bit, again, I did point out that we haven't won since he's returned, but I don't think that's a him thing. I think it's just, again, like an overall team thing. You can't be too mad at these stats for sure. He had 4 fouls. 6 rebounds was the second most. 14 points was pretty good, but that was a little bit later on as well. He hit a 3. He's been hitting threes consistently, and that I've liked because that's just something. Again, as a team that's lacks shooting, if our other guys can start to knock shots down, then Stu can find himself more wide open on the perimeter at times and really come in clutch there. I'm glad he got a stock, knocked Matt about 6 of 11 shooting in only 22 minutes. So I mean, this is kind of a classic Stu bench stat line all season. So it seems like he's doing what he's asked of out there. But just couldn't, once again, just not a guy that could. He had the third most points of the night, but they just, like I said, the only way that we were getting points in the paint tonight were with those guys, and if they were already at the basket, basically.
Yeah,
so.
I don't know if anybody showed any more fight in this game than Isaiah Stewart.
That's true. Yes,
that dude was fighting in that painted area against a much bigger Killer Ware. He's like 7'1", maybe 7'2". I don't know how tall he is, but a crazy stupid wingspan. That's tough. Like to go from Wemby and then 2 games later you got Killer Ware. Like, that's tough when you're 6'8". I have no issues with Stu tonight. None. I mean, the way he was battling, he's not going to be a guy who offensively wins you a game, right? So you're not even like the 14 points, like that's great for him. That's great for him. 11 shots is not even something he usually takes. So for him to knock down 6 of them, hit 1 of his threes, rebounding the ball the way he did, I thought he was really good in this game. I have nothing bad to say about Isaiah Stewart. He brought the intensity, he brought the effort. He was banging down there, making it tough as he could. But once again, I didn't see enough of JD and Stu together.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It keeps coming back to that for me. We saw them briefly. We keep seeing them briefly.
Stu was the first.
That's it. And then that's it. Yeah. So I don't know why we're not seeing that. But Organic did say that he scored 7 straight points in the 4th quarter and then got benched immediately. So I don't know what that was about. I didn't even peep that. But
I think that was at garbage time. He got benched for B-ball Paul. They called it.
Okay. I'm not mad at that then. I'm not mad at that. They probably waved the white flag.
Especially after the way B-ball Paul performs tonight. And we've said this multiple times when he comes in and gets he did the job done in 5 minutes. And he was battling against Khalil Ware too. Like he wasn't battling against their deep bench. He was battling against the bench that they had been going up against most of the game. And
what
so just assume, that Tom, but we tend to talk more on losses for some reason. They're just all depressed. Did you also notice all of us had our gray on? That just tells you we didn't coordinate. We didn't call each other. I want to wear gray today. We all just like, well, day. Yeah, no
it's a
color.
Gray day. It's just not good.
but especially because Stu came out, and we've seen this multiple times too. Stu was the first one off the bench for Tobias. He was he played the 4 for us. Like, why not just start it that way? And again, I've always been in the category, like, I don't think Tobias it's not like benching Tobias because you're mad at Tobias. It's just more like what, especially with the SAR gone, what more can we do for this team to help them out? And with Tobias and Ron coming off the bench, like Tobias, the way that he's been a producer and steady as a starter, could also do that off the bench as well. And then Stu starting with Duren means that one of them sits down and then B-Ball Paul, and then maybe that, they have a couple minutes with just one big out there, and then B-Ball Paul comes back on. Like, we could basically have a full game with those 3 guys rotating. And it's something that I think, especially with how B-Ball is playing and how he's played last year in the playoffs for us, because remember, Stu was not in the playoffs. We didn't beat the Knicks, but we beat the Knicks in some games. We only lost by 6 points total against the Knicks in the first round last year. With B-Ball Paul as our second big, he's earned this. He's earned the playing time. He's earned the playoff run. He's earned these games, in my opinion, as has Stu and Duren, obviously. But those guys could all be on it together. So
yeah, that's why we say we want to see JD and Stu start for regions like tonight. It's a lot to ask for, JD to be the only big out there every single night. And then when he's getting pulled out into the paint, you got to rely on Tobias to bang against whoever the other big is, who's probably going to be bigger than him more times than not. So you solve for that by just having a guy like Isaiah Stewart start alongside him, and then rely on a guy like Paul Reed, who, whenever he's been given the opportunity, shows up and shows out. And now you got Tobias Harris cooking off the bench against second stringers, which he can easily do. It's just the domino effect fits perfectly for me. So, yeah, 100%. But as far as Stu, 100%. No complaints. No complaints whatsoever. He just battled. He battled his tail off all night long. So, no complaints for him. Boss, let's go to, you talked about him, but Paul Reed. Let's go ahead and jump into him real quick.
Okay.
Tonight, guys, Paul Reed, 10 points on 3 for 6 shooting, 1 of 1 from 3, 3-4 from the free throw line, 5 boards, 1 assist, and 2 stocks, a steal in the block in 6 minutes of play. Go ahead, boss.
And no fouls. He did all that with no fouls. 3 offensive rebounds. He had 5 rebounds, and they just updated it, so it must have just been 4.
Okay.
Also, they just updated it, and they kept the 3 blocks for Tobias as well, just so you know.
Oh, okay.
I know that we differed there, but he just goes out there and he gave everything. And it's like, if he had come in a few minutes earlier, we might have had a chance to make this a close one, But the effort, I always appreciate when the guys come off the bench and still play to their full abilities, despite it being garbage time. And that's something that I could say about our bench throughout the entire season. That's definitely something I feel about Paul Reed. But and double, and even, he was getting the praises from Blaha and Kelser too. Like, we all see the miraculous things he's doing out there. Yeah. I mean, he had a better stat line than most of the guys that played 3 times as much as him. That's just nuts. And again, guys, like, maybe the last 2 minutes of the game, they brought in their deep bench, but otherwise he was playing against the same guys that our bench was playing against. Like, it was the same people. So he just went out there and made an impact. And he's definitely someone, especially when another team is beating us on the boards, like Miami was early tonight, he'd be the first person that I would go to help clean that up, because he's a rebound magnet. I told you, I called him that to his face, and I got the nod. He knows. So, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know why he's not playing more, boss. I don't even know what to say anymore. Like, I don't want to keep beating a dead horse. I feel like after every game we're saying the same things about Paul Reed. He did this in this many minutes. That's usually what we say every game. Man, why isn't he playing more minutes? He had this in this many minutes. We gotta see more Paul Reed. I don't know. If we see it, I know JB has to see it. I know the coaching staff has to see it. So I'm just wondering why we're not seeing it. We all see it, so why don't we see it? So I don't know. I'm very confused about that. Tom says that Miami offense was really interesting, though, really different from the modern day pick and roll heavy offense. Yeah, I mean, it was.
They just couldn't miss from wherever. They were getting mid-range. They were getting perimeter. Bam was getting in the paint. And so it was a little different. And our defense, I think we're now adjusting. And it sucks that, like, we're now just adjusting to Asar being gone too. Yep. But then you would question why certain lineups, including the starting lineup, were the way they were when a defender is off the team. Like, you have to replace defense with defense.
Yeah.
So,
And when you're a defensive team, you do, which is
just
what we
like
are.
like I said, if Duncan was out, I'd be totally thrilled with Sass in the starting lineup. Like because Duncan is offense.
Right.
So you would play
Right.
someone offense.
Right. But when you're moving Duncan to the 3 and you still got Sass in there, it's like, I don't know if that's it. I don't know if that's the move. So yeah, I totally agree with you for sure. Yeah, but yeah, Tom, we got love for you, bro. We know you know your ball too.
Of course.
Hey, Tom can hoop too, y'all.
Tom's going through it. Tom, I love that you're back with us. I don't know what time it is there, but I love that you're back with us. So you're just
It's got to be like 4:13 in the morning for him right now. I don't even know why he's even awake right now, bro. It has to be early AF right now.
We talked about it a little bit. How are you feeling? Are you dooming? Do you feel they're gonna snap out of it? Like what are your takes, Tom? I'm curious. Just let us know.
Oh yeah. Keep talking, boss. I'm actually about to create that poll exactly right now. So if you want to get to a comment real quick or whatever, I'm about to create this poll. So do your
what
thing.
are you having for lunch? That sounds to me. It's 9:15 here, so it's 11:15 in Michigan.
Yeah.
But I forgot about the time change. Does Korea do the time change? We lost an hour today in America.
That's a good question.
That's
a great question.
So my kitchen clock says it's only 8:15, but it's 9:15. So
okay.
Tom says I was panicking at first, but now I'm pretty calmed down. Okay. Bickerstaff is not being fired. You guys please just revert back to 2 years ago and tell me that we haven't been blessed with a coach we've been blessed with. So
for sure. All right, guys, poll is live. Where will the Pistons finish this season? I believe what are they, boss? Like 3 games up, I think, on the Celtics with the Pistons lost 2.5 now. Okay.
The Celtics won tonight.
Right. They beat Cleveland earlier today, right? Yeah. Okay. All right, guys. So go ahead and have at that. We will get back to that in a few minutes as we finish up these last few box score numbers. Boss, let's go to Javonte Green first. Javonte Savage, can you woo in this game, guys? Javonte Green finished with 6 points on 2 for 5 shooting overall. All 3 from 3, 2 from the free throw line, 2 boards, 1 assist, and 2 turnovers in 15 minutes for Javonte. So, what'd you see from Savage Bull?
He also had a technical foul. He
got a tech? I didn't even peep that.
Yeah, Tyler Hero missed the free throw. He got tech for talking. And that's just not something you see of him. He was frustrated last night as well. Remember the team telling him to calm down. He's frustrated. Like I said, his first possession in, they just swung him the ball immediately like he should be the saving grace for them. Mm-hmm. He can make threes. He can make offensive plays. But it's not what he's here for. And it's not something, of course, when he's called upon, he should get those. But don't check him in and immediately put him behind the perimeter to hit a 3. That's how I feel. Because he is.
I mean, I don't
hate it. I'm not mad at it. But like,
for me, it's the volume. I don't want him taking a bunch of threes. Like, I don't want him going like, taking 8 or 9. If he's taking 2 or 3 a game in rhythm, I've seen him plenty of times off the bench, cold, just come in and knock it down. Mm-hmm. For me, and I'm going to cut you off. I'm sorry. For me, it's just more so the biting off you can chew piece that Eric was talking about earlier. It's like, I don't want him uncharacteristically taking a bunch of volume threes the way I want to see Duncan Robinson taking volume threes. But the 2 or 3 game, if they're in rhythm and they're in a spot, I'm cool. But go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean that's for me. It's just more of like it immediately came in and it's just not something you see right away. Usually Javonte is in the corner and you get it to him in the last moment because he's wide open because somebody drove. Like it just seemed like it was drawn up for him, which is fine. Okay. I just I don't want his first possession in, like, because he just like other guys on this team, like Asar, like Jenkins, like Brown, like sometimes their defense really like just torpedoes them into the game on the other side. Mm-hmm, and here we are, we kind of immediately just relying him on the offensive end, and he wasn't able to just get that going. And then he started off cold, and he was getting frustrated. It was just almost like it's a mental thing too. So Javonte was just a little bit frustrated tonight. And again, he only, he was 2 or 5. That's 40%. Like, it's not like he went crazy on the offensive end. He still, I thought he did a good job on Jaime Jaquez. I think Jaquez got around him once, and then Wu just really adjusted to that and played him physically and played him well. Agreed. But that's something I could say about Javonte a million times, is just how good his his defense is. And he had 2 fouls tonight, which isn't terrible. But yeah, Wu's been a little bit out of sync as well. But I don't think it's an individual thing. Like I said, like a lot of guys have been out of sync, but it's because we're out of sync as a team and we play team ball. We play team basketball.
To that point again, this is what I've said about Ron a few minutes ago. These guys are going to play well. They're a byproduct of how we're playing. Once again, 6 fast break points as a team. Javonte Green is best when he's helping us create turnovers and get out and finish. Just like Ron. Those guys do a lot of the same things well, right? Except Javonte's a little bit older, more experienced, a little bit smaller, better shooter. Small things are different, but the way they play is the same. So if we have 6 fast break points, that's telling me Ron's not playing well. That's telling me Asar might not be playing well. And that's telling me Savage Wu probably ain't playing well. Like if we're not playing our style, we can't expect them to get. That's when I'm with you. That's when I'm like, if we're stuck in the half, that's why he's taking more threes because we're stuck in the half court.
Half court
instead of him trying to get out in transition and trying to get a layup or a dunk. So
or
Chris says, go ahead.
I was gonna say he's also had transition threes for us. Like he feeds off of his defense.
But we have to play a certain way for him to play well.
Yeah, and I don't think it's even that. It's just yeah, like we've been able to win off of defense because our defense also influences our offense.
Exactly. Yeah. So 6 fast break points. I'm not expecting him to play well. It's just not his game. It's not Ron's game. So Chris says, Mr. The Pistons won again. Nah, we lost again, Coach.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm dead. Appreciate you as always, Chris. Chris always bringing the new one. But yeah, that's what it is for me. Like but to the point we made earlier, boss, like when everybody's clicking, we usually don't lose. And when everybody's playing well, like when one guy's playing well, everybody's playing well. When a few guys are not, like it's a domino effect because of how this team is constructed. They're all pieces to a puzzle, but we all want to do the same thing. So if we're not getting out in transition, you're not going to see certain guys play well because their skill set isn't designed for the half court. So if we're stuck in the half court, don't expect Ron to go crazy. Don't expect Devontae Green to go. It's just not going to happen because that's not where they're best at. So that's what it was for me. We weren't able to put him in position to really have the kind of game he wanted to have because we were just stuck in half court all day. So
yeah, agreed.
All right, boss. We'll leave it there. We got 2 more guys to get to quickly, and then we will call it. Let's get to Chaz. He actually played tonight, guys. He didn't play much, but he played 8 minutes, and unfortunately, he did not score. He did not score. 0 for 3 from the field, 0 for 2 from 3, and some cardio in about 8 minutes. So he didn't play a ton. But what did you see from Chaz Lanier in this game, boss? I know we were all hoping to see him and what he could bring.
I saw open 3-point attempts. They were even slower releases than I expect from him.
Right.
Oh, he's not throwing the ball up quickly. He's off, that kind of thing. I truly wish that he was able to get hot because he's been doing so good for the Crews. And again, guys, none of us here would ever be able to understand the mentality of going out and playing an NBA game, going out and asking, being called up and being put out there and being like, we go do it, And he did what he was asked to do, and that was shoot threes. And unfortunately, none went in. He missed a layup too, but you could say that about literally everybody on our team tonight. So
he did. He did miss one, didn't he?
Yeah, it's just a bummer that he didn't at least sink one because I was excited. I was excited to root for him for that. Just like despite me not loving Sass in the starting lineup, I do like seeing him on the floor. Like I'm still excited for these guys, and I'm excited to see what they can do. So he did play for 8 minutes, which is a solid amount of time. If he went 0 for 3 in 3 or 4 minutes, it'd be a little bit more excusable. But he was out there. He no impact on the loss, but unfortunately he wasn't. He was put in early and then not put in again till garbage time, but he was put in early for that spark and he couldn't get that going, sadly. So, but he's not, but I do hope that he is someone that if we do need another spark, hopefully if we're ahead and we're just like, hey, go try to grow the lead, that's when I would like to see him out there, not necessarily called upon quite. I don't think he's there. I mean, like you said, he hasn't had enough time with us. He's doing great with the Crews, but it's a little different. He's comfortable with those guys. It's a different league. He still plays his heart out, but like to be, everybody knew that he was called upon to try to get some scoring going, and he knew that too.
That's why I'm with her. That's why I like this up here so you can see it. Man ain't played in 2 months. Can't expect too much.
Yeah, that's very true.
8 minutes and
I
he hasn't
expect
played.
3 shot attempts. I respect 3 shot attempts because 8 minutes could have meant no shot attempts. It could have meant him giving the ball away, passing
Of
up
course,
the
you want to see one go in for him because
right,
I think once he sees one go in, that'll do a number for his confidence. But
right.
the shots look good. I think 1 or 2 of them rimmed out. Like it touched every part of the rim before it popped out. So the layup is the layup. I get it, but I wasn't mad at what I saw. You know, I want to just he played within the flow. He did what he was supposed to do. He took good shots in rhythm, just didn't fall. So I'm not going to trip on him at all on 8 minutes, and he ain't played since the top of the year, pretty much. I'm not going to get on him for that. Exactly, again, he just didn't. Yeah, and it's hard to get thrown in there and try to make something happen and prove to your coach you deserve more minutes. You know,
If it was right, and he shot the ball, like if it was 14 minutes, if he had Herder's minutes tonight and produced goose eggs across, then I would be like, then you didn't even snag a rebound, you know, what were you doing? But 8 minutes, especially in a fast-paced game like tonight was, the only stoppages were really a couple of free throws, stretches of free throws on both ends. Otherwise, it was a pretty fast-paced game. So 8 minutes kind of flew by. So if he is somebody that I still think, especially if you've been seeing what he's been doing on the cruise, like he is somebody that I do think
been hooping over there.
Benefit his team. I do hope that we get to see more of him, especially next season. I would love to see him in the rotation, to be honest. So
same here. All right, guys, we'll leave it there on Swaggy Chaz. Let's finish it off, boss, by going to Bobby Klintman in this game tonight, guys. Bobby Klintman played 5 minutes. He had 3 points on 1 for 2 shooting, hit his only 3 ball, had 2 assists and no turnovers. 5 minutes. I was happy with what I saw, but you can let me know what you saw from Bobby in the 5 minutes. Once again, not a lot, small sample size, but you know, just off the eye test.
I'm glad he hit a 3. Good job. 2 assists. I missed those, but good job.
I saw him. That was nice.
He's a big guy. And at the rim, he really smoked that. It just feels like anytime he's contacted, it feels like he's like you're big, you're taller. You're taller than the guys out there. You can get more aggressive. Like he does move like a gazelle. He's very elegant with his movements. But if you're hanging out at the rim, you got to be able to finish the layups or grab the rebounds. Like you're a big guy.
Stronger.
Yeah, so getting stronger there, and I think just a little bit of confidence as well. But I'm glad that his 3 went in because it looked nice. It was wide open. It was a great form. Switched the basket. That was nice too. And he did put up in 4 minutes, 3 points and 2 assists. So I gotta hand that to him. But he did have a turnover, a bad pass. Which
he did.
Yes, he's done this. It's the same one.
I don't see that on mine. He has no turnovers on mine.
Oh, he has a turnover on mine, and I remember it. It was he was in the lane, and he passed it off when he should have just gone up with it, and it got intercepted. It's a common turnover for him.
Well, he don't play too much, so you can't say it's common.
It's common when he's in. I'm sorry, but you can count on Bobby Klintman to turn the ball over when he's in with us.
No, you can't. Not really. He doesn't. He doesn't turn the ball over.
He does.
He doesn't have the ball in his hands enough to turn it over. He doesn't turn the ball over a lot. That's one of the things that he's always been best at, is being able to facilitate as a big man. It's not really his thing. But once again, 5 minutes.
Yeah.
The one thing with him that I will say is I agree with Isai Meach. Like he needs to. It's the mental piece with him. It's y'all know I've liked his game since I've liked Danius Jenkins' game, like the beginning of last season during summer league. But the talent for me is not the issue. It's like Boss was saying, you got to go up stronger. You got to first get strong. You got to get in the weight room. You got to get stronger. The finishing around the rim is not good, not great. With him not being a super duper athlete, he has to be a good finisher around the rim. He's got to be precise with his finishing around the rim. He's got to get stronger. Isai says, go get a tattoo or something. He's not aggressive at all. Yeah, I feel you on that, bro. I feel it. I feel it for sure. Like he has to ingratiate himself. I'm not saying he's not, but he's got to ingratiate himself with the style of play that we play here if he wants to find himself on the court. And it's got to start with defense. I'm not saying he's a bad defender, but he's at best probably an average defender right now at that 4 spot. But he does kind of get pushed around a little bit because he's just not strong enough.
Right.
So for me, more than anything, he's just got to get stronger. He's got to get stronger in that painted area. And I think if he's able to do that, that'll help him open things up eventually. But 5 minutes. So we'll leave it there, guys. Hopefully that'll pick up for him for his sake. But that's all I got, boss. Anything else you got on anything we talked about?
Just want to give this to you.
He
Because I
doesn't
mean,
play enough, bro. If you play in 15, 20 minutes, let's have a conversation. But
I
in
agree.
garbage time,
I'm
I'm
just
not
saying
going
in
to
the
look at his
garbage minutes,
turnovers
he
and
has
say
turnovers. It's just true.
it doesn't matter. Like I'm not tripping
It doesn't
on.
matter, but
The
when I
thing
see
is,
him on the floor, I know he's going to turn the ball over.
you know, what do you mean? You know he's going to turn the ball
Why?
over.
Because he's done it before.
When was the last time he played, boss?
I don't know. But
Exactly.
what
We
he
just
did,
sat up here. Hold on. We just sat up here and talked
I'm
about
saying,
about
I'm not
about
talking about
Chaz.
minutes
Hold on.
played.
Let me finish.
I'm talking about
Let me finish. Can I finish, please?
But
We
I'm
just talked
telling you,
about.
turns the
No,
ball
you don't
over.
know what I'm going to say yet. Can I finish my statement? That's all I'm
Go ahead.
asking. We just talked about Chaz Lanier, how he hasn't played a lot and he's
True.
not making shots. You didn't harp on him not making shots. You didn't say, well, he come to the game, he ain't gonna make shots. So it's like you can't judge it off a small sample size and say, well, he's always gonna do this and that when he's playing with guys he don't even play with.
I'm
He's
just
not even
saying,
playing with guys. He's so like
from what
the
I've
turnovers,
seen
you can't
from
even
him,
really judge that. He had one
when he
turnover. It wasn't like he
turns
had a bunch. He had one turnover
he turns it over.
in 5 minutes. He had one turnover.
Because he
One.
needs to get stronger. And he has like a light. I'm just saying that's just what I've noticed when he plays for the Pistons. When he comes in, he turns the ball over.
Not really, not from what I've seen.
Oh,
But
okay.
per 36 is crazy when he plays 5 minutes a game.
Okay,
So
that's
I don't
fine.
know.
I'm
I
just
don't know.
you're taking it more out of context than it is. He has a turnover in the minutes he plays with the Pistons.
That's it. He had a turnover in
That's all
5
I'm
minutes.
saying. That's it. Yeah. That's
Well,
all I'm saying.
what you said was you can expect him to turn the ball over. That's a little bit different.
But
So I'm
every
gonna
time I've seen him play with us, he's turned the ball over.
That's not true. But we'll leave it there. That's not true because he hasn't even played this year. All
He's
right.
played minutes and games, and he's
He's
turned the
played
ball
less
over.
minutes than Chaz. So
I'm
what are we talking
aware,
about?
but he's turned the ball over in those minutes. That's
You're
all
not
I'm
a Bobby fan. It's clear. You haven't
In
been a
those
Bobby fan since he's
saying.
got here.
I'm not, honestly. I think that he
Yeah.
should be the first to go when we make a move because
And that very well may be true if he don't get stronger. He's got to get stronger, bro. Like like he don't play, man. Like what are we talking about?
in 3
All right.
years, right? He doesn't
Huh?
play, but when he does, he turns it over. That's all I'm saying.
At times he does. We'll leave it there. You're critical on the guys you don't like. It's all good. You do the same thing with JD.
I'm just telling you what I noticed. Like when I think of a guy, when I think of Bobby Klintman, I'm like, he's gonna come in and turn the ball over. That's what I think. That's the impact he's made on me in his minutes this year.
You could say that about a lot of guys who play 5 minutes.
That's all I'm saying.
That's all I'm saying.
I guess I'm just telling you what I think of him when I get to see him on the floor. Just like people always say when they see LeVert come on the floor, they're like, "Oh, here comes LeVert," which is fair. So when I think of Bobby come on the floor, I'm like, "Yeah, he's gonna give it away."
Yeah, but I don't even hear you say about Karras that you expect him to turn the ball over. He does more than Bobby Klintman.
Because of more minutes.
That's my whole point. He should.
I'm
So
aware.
he's comfortable.
Out of proportion. Like he has he has. I'm just saying, like and it's because of his toughness. It's because he gets it knocked out of his hands, or he makes a little pass, like too soft of a pass, like he did tonight. I think you're just mad because I'm recording. Like I immediately saw your disgust on your face when I said that my NBA records the turnover, and you're like, I don't see that.
I just said I didn't see one. I just said I didn't see one, and you followed up. Well, he always turns the ball over, and I'm like, what do you mean he always turns the ball over? That's how we got to that point. So, like I said, I don't know. He doesn't. I don't. Once he starts getting consistent minutes, then I think it's fair to have a conversation about his turnovers and everything else. But 5 minutes a game, I don't think it's. We always say incomplete. That's why I just said Chaz Lanier incomplete. He had more minutes. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't really judge players.
I'm not
when they don't
judging
play.
you. I'm just telling you what I think of.
I don't judge their play when they don't play more than 5 minutes a game. You see, I just don't do that. So
judging his play. It's just when we've
you
seen
do.
him.
You just judge his play by saying he always turns it over.
Because it's
What are you
happened.
talking about?
Because how many games has he played? Tell me.
I don't know.
Okay.
That's the whole point. That's the
That's
whole
fair.
point.
How many turnovers do you think he has?
I don't know because I don't even know how many games he's played this year. I can't even probably count on one hand how many games he's played this year.
That's fine. Okay.
And minutes. He may average less minutes than he plays games than he has played games all year. He doesn't even play. That's what I felt like too, bro. Look. So I'm not saying she's being. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I don't think she's being personal. I just disagree. That's all.
Well, if he's played maybe 3 games, he has double the turnovers, which tracks.
Unnecessary, boss, because you don't have that fact. Show me the numbers. That's what I'm saying, chat. Y'all see how she just did that? Y'all see how she just did that? If he's doing this, then he must do that. Show me the numbers, bro.
I'm looking at this turnovers right now. He has 6 turnovers on the season. So if he's played 6 games and he has.
Okay, when I come back, we will have all the numbers about how many minutes he's played, how many turnovers he's had. I'll have all those numbers next show, and then there won't be nothing to talk about.
You think about him. When I think of him, I think of him giving the ball away in a short time.
Okay. All right. We had an unnecessarily long conversation about Bobby Clement for whatever reason. But we'll end it there, guys. Let's move on, boss, to the next game. Right. So, guys, coming up, that's so ugly to look at. Oh my God. Coming up, guys, the Pistons don't play until Tuesday again, when they once again take on the Brooklyn Nets. And hopefully they can right their wrong this time and stop, taking games for granted and take care of their business like we've talked about. And I am fully expecting them to do that because the last performance was just bad. It was one to forget for sure. Do you have any thoughts on this upcoming game, boss?
I think so. We have the Nets, so we should obviously just really pop off. The Sixers, I think Maxey got hurt, so he won't be in, is what I saw. So probably a Maxey-less and Embiid-less game. So we should get that because that guy, Maxey, is literally carrying them. Grizzlies, we should get. And by the Raptors game is when we need to have our defense back in form because the Raptors are a good defensive team and they can get hot offensively as well. And they're also fighting for position. The Sixers are also, they just dropped down to 7th, I think, in the play-in. They just dropped down to the play-in. So they're going to have motivation to win. But our defense needs to be fixed by the Raptors game. So we have basically 3 games to get back into our full rhythm if we don't get it.
Okay. Yeah.
If we don't get the Nets, if we don't get that next game, is where I'm at.
By the way, I see y'all in the chat saying Deuce get the L. Hey man, y'all seen I've had these graphics up all year. It's just an eyesore. It's just an eyesore. It's the first time we've seen so much red on the schedule. It's usually green light. But hey, it is what it is, man. I wasn't trying to be. I legit wasn't even trying to be funny with that. I just had it up there.
You're just recording it. Tell the Pistons to start winning again.
You know what I'm saying? Crazy. But yeah, guys. So, boss, March is gonna be a busy month for the Pistons, man. They have 4 more sets of back-to-backs this month. So a lot of games are gonna be played. They gotta take every single one serious. They gotta make sure they get their rest and just get back to stacking wins again, man. The playoffs are coming pretty soon. So especially teams like Boston playing well, Cleveland playing well, they got to make sure they're on their P's and Q's for sure and bring their A game. So that's all we got tonight, guys. Make sure you guys, if you are not already, make sure you are following and subscribe to Boss on YouTube and Instagram and Twitter as well at Boss Talks Ball. And make sure that you guys stay plugged in for sure. So we appreciate you guys for showing out as you guys always do, man. Make sure you smash that like button and subscribe if you are new. And we hope you guys have a great night. And y'all know the drill, man. Detroit versus everybody. Peace.
All the dirty work, all dog. I'ma dive on the floor, go try to block every shot. And I'ma be physical with you the whole game. Stu gonna be physical with you. When you think of the Pistons, you think it's just hard work and just gritty basketball. That's just the identity you gotta have when you put on that jersey.
I'm not your average breed of canine. Not a good dog, I'm bad boy for life. I set the tone, don't care about no tick. Let it be known, I get my respect. Come in the lane and see I don't bluff. If you retaliate, that's on ya. Talking pundits, I hear your shade. Talking that chop, you must run this way. Tryna tell ya, look the dog palm, mess around, find out, Tryna tell ya, look the dog palm, mess around, find out, For some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that. When you're real for some barbecue sauce, boy, you better cough a hill, cause I'm like that.